Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 182 of Shacknews Presents Pop Goes the Culture. I'm Donovan Erskine, news editor here at Shacknews, and as always, that is Greg Burke, our illustrious head of video. Greg, happy early Tuesday. Happy early Thursday. Again, as you can tell, I'm doing a great job keeping up with the days of the week
Well,
here.
you've been going around like crazy. You've been traveling. Can you say where you were last week or this
I
week?
was in New York
Yeah.
City, and I played Nintendo games and some Capcom games at a Nintendo event. I did talk about them on the podcast. Embargoes are up. But yeah, I got to play Mario Tennis, which was fun. I got this ball,
Yeah, you got
which is
the
cool.
Waluigi tennis ball. Time to,
Yeah, they had, see,
limited edition
they had
Waluigi tennis ball, $2,000 on you.
you see they had different colors, and I took the purple one because I like purple and I like the Ravens. But yeah, I got to play that. Some Mario Bros. Wonder. Played Resident Evil Requiem
Oh, on the
RE9
Switch. Nice.
on the Switch. Played Pragmata, also a Capcom joint on the Switch. Those were fun.
Ah, the new Mega Man
Um,
game, as everyone's calling it. The secret Mega Man game.
yeah, Yeah, which they tweeted about that after the last trailer. They were like, "You can stop calling us a Mega Man game now." But yes, been busy, been traveling a bunch. I was in LA for the High Guard event a couple weeks ago. I think we skipped the
Which,
show that week
which
because I
Dr.
was
Disrespect
traveling.
wasn't. Did you see him there?
No, he was not there. I saw he did like the fake pass thing, which these people are
Oh,
guys
he
need to be
did it
sick
on purpose for clout.
in
But
the
anyway,
mind.
we digress. No, it's you played all those cool games. Capcom should have leaned into that. They should have been like, is it a Mega Man game? We don't know. Maybe you'll see him at the end.
The issue
You have
with
to
that
buy
is
it to find out.
that would have been funny. The issue is you run the risk of like pissing people off, like because then people it comes out and then like all the Mega Man diehards are like, "Fuck you," and they make like the
Yeah, well,
petitions on Reddit
what
and
else is
whatnot and
new? And
stuff.
internet mad thing, right? That's the big thing.
That's also true. I mean, they're gonna do that regardless,
Yeah,
but
it doesn't matter. Yeah.
you don't want to invite it if you're a company that has employees and whatnot that people can seek out because those are usually the ones that get targeted when this stuff happens. But Greg, that's big companies. Capcom. There's a much smaller video game company, or I should say, just video game property that's doing quite well these days. Have you ever heard of Iron Lung, the video game? This came out, gosh, a few years ago, maybe, yeah, 2022. Indie game on Steam. It's an indie game when the Steam developer and publisher is just the guy's name. David Szymanski developed and published this game himself. It's called Iron Lung. It's a horror game. It's essentially you're in this tiny little like submersible and you're in an ocean of blood on another planet. That's all I know about it because I haven't played it. But it got a movie adaptation from a very, very famous YouTuber, Markiplier, who I believe financed it, distributed it, and I think he co-wrote it. Him and the guy who made the game like co-wrote it and produced it. And it came out this past weekend. Very little promotion. I think there was like one trailer. Did $17 million at the box office opening weekend. It almost beat the new Sam Raimi movie, which did like 20 million, I think. Um, it beat the Melania documentary, which, I mean, thank God. Nobody wanted to go see that bullshit. But this has been a crazy story. Obviously, we talk about like the financials of movies all the time on this show, and so many movies come out and flop. And for a movie based on an indie game that had very little promotion to do that well has been pretty
Well,
remarkable.
it shows you the reach of him, basically. Like that's promotion from just
Yeah.
his community, and it only cost him like
Mhm.
9 months of Twitch subs, which is crazy. Maybe a year of Twitch subs. Not that much
Yeah, I mean,
in
yeah,
hindsight.
I mean, yeah, Markiplier's like old era YouTube. He's been around since like the late 2000s. He was like one of the first when like Let's Play became like a trend. Like he was like one of the first people. Like you look at like FNAF. He's kind of partially responsible for
Yeah.
that game becoming what it was.
Yeah.
He was there playing that when it came out. He played this Iron Lung, of course, when it came out a few years ago, and liked the game enough that he put his money into making it a movie, and now it's doing quite well. It was an interesting little story there. I still need to see it. Sam Chandler liked it. Sam and his partner, they saw it last weekend, I think he told me, and he thought it was pretty decent. So I gotta check it out.
Horror. We talk about it
But
all the time. Horror is a good low key, low budget genre. Like even if without the community behind multiplier, it's still horror, and that's its own genre. And it has its own genre of fans, and it's low bar. You can do it really cheap.
people like to be scared. And this is the perfect marriage of those, right? Where it's one, horror, people like to be scared, and two, it's a game and a story that takes place in one location inside of a ship or a tiny little like submarine, which obviously is much easier on production. I'm pretty sure there's he's the only person you see on screen. Their voices, they're like characters he talks to on like a radio, but it's just the one guy in one room, which can always be risky in movies. Sometimes movies do that and they get really boring, and you're like, holy shit, can this guy like die or break out of this place? But sometimes it can be really compelling. You know, it's like the movie version of a bottle episode, essentially. I always liked the Ryan Reynolds movie Buried, where he's like a soldier in the Middle East and he gets captured and they bury him alive and he's trying to figure out where he is and how he can get out of this coffin buried
It
6 feet in the
always it
sand.
harkens back to me even older, just to Rear Window or Phone Booth, like those two
Mm,
movies. That, I mean, like Hitchcock,
I love Rear
obviously.
Window.
Like people don't talk about him enough because he's so old at this point. People have not seen a lot of the movies, but like there is no Spielberg without Hitchcock. There is no this movie without Hitchcock. Like Hitchcock did so many things.
I love Hitchcock.
He's yeah. I mean, he's like he's revolutionary, right? Like he's one has set these standards, that are copied for generations. Just like Shakespeare set standards for dramas. Like it's what it is. Like he's one of the first. He's a pioneer of the genre.
Yeah. hmm Yeah, indeed. And this is I think to me a cool story, right? The movie's not, don't get me wrong, this movie's not getting like crazy 10 out of 10 reviews. Sam liked it, but it's got like middling, like whatever reviews. But I just think the story here is just the power of like reach, right? Like we see it as people who work on the internet every day, right? Where like a lot of reach can be determined by just what your following looks like. Markiplier is not just a very beloved content creator. He's very popular, but he's also very like respected, right? Like he's never been accused of something horrible. He's not like a right-wing grifter. He doesn't, he's not like donating to suspicious companies or foreign entities. He's kind of just like stayed in his lane for the last 15, 16 years at this point of YouTube stuff, and it's kind of built this goodwill to where, yeah, it comes out and there was no like headline of like, uh-oh, this thing is doing this or people feel this way about it. Just people like the guy and they wanted to go see a movie that he made and was in. And I'm just curious to see if this becomes a thing that the studios look at, right? Because this wasn't Sony or Disney or Netflix or Warner or Paramount. But I mean, are they going to see this and be like, damn, maybe we should go make a movie with, I don't know, Jacksepticeye or Valkyrie or something? Are they looking at this as like, these people are, movie stars? They're stars of the internet, right? Where like, you've talked about it a lot, how you could just used to be able to just put Tom Cruise in a movie and it was just going to do a lot of money at the box office because he was in it. And that's what this was, right? This was Markiplier was in this movie. He's never been in a well, I think he's been in like stuff, but he's never been like the star of a movie before. His fans wanted to see it. So I'm curious to see if this kind of like opens the door for more content creators to try to jump to filmmaking.
It's happening. I think we'll see. But it's just so much media being produced now. It's incredibly hard to
Yeah.
keep up with it all, and it's everything gets drowned out, and it's. I feel like at this
Mhm.
point it's all white noise. Every single movie, every single movie, TV show, stream, VOD, short, feed, algorithm is all noise, and I don't know how you're supposed to break up. I guess once in a while you break through it. Uh,
hmm
because like I mean, like it's the budget is it's 3 million. It's like a year of his salary, and then like 20 million, which is great. That's a great return for horror, but like at the same time, like studios don't really care. They want a return that's in a billion, right? They want a billion in the box office. Like that's what they aim for when you do your
Depends on the budget and
Marvel
stuff, but
Endgame
yeah.
2 and your Mario Galaxy movie. They want to hit the $1 billion mark. That's what they want. That's the goal. But those movies cost 220, 250, $300 million to
Yeah,
produce.
so that's relative to what those movies cost to make, but another, when you have cheaper production costs, you have cheaper top lines you're trying to hit. Then he said he heard folks were calling theaters and requesting this movie to get it in theaters because execs weren't giving it slots. Yeah, I saw this too, where I think originally it was supposed to be only in like a few hundred, like 400 or 500 movie theaters in America, which to put in perspective, your typical like studio movie, the big ones you see commercials for and go watch yourself, like usually it's like 3,000 theaters, like in America. And then they got this to, like 2,500, I think. They said this ended up coming out in just off of request because people kept hitting up their local theaters. So
Yeah, it
yeah, I mean
depends
it's the
on
power
your
of a
distributor, which is him. His own company is the distributor, so no one had ever worked with him before. So I don't know the legalities
yeah.
behind that, but it's all in advance. Like if you're an independent, it's really difficult to get your movie distributed. especially when
Mhm.
like I mean like obviously like it's like you said on paper for an individual it's a great return, but like for a company it's like no, they're like nah. They're like nah, you know, the 20 millions they they don't want to sneeze on that. That's the CEO's bonuses for that year. They don't care. They want something more. But
Not every
it's
studio. Indie studios do that. That's what Neon and
yeah.
A24 live on. That the
Alamo Draft House
$10
does
million
stuff like that too,
budgets.
right? They do like the limited release
That's
stuff.
the theater chain. Yeah, they do a lot of random releases and stuff. Yeah, they do a whole bunch of those. Yeah, also cool for David Szymanski, the guy who made the game. That's got to be a pretty cool thing to happen. You just, you make this indie game, and then one of the most popular people on the internet's like, "Hey, I want to make this a movie. Help me out," and then it does well. I'm sure. I can't see the sales figures of the game
Yeah,
because
I
Steam
wonder if the
doesn't show you
Steam charts.
them,
I wonder if
but
it's higher on the Steam charts now because
oh,
the
it's got to
movie.
be. Yeah, I imagine it has to be because honestly, I didn't even know Iron Lung was a game until the movie was coming out. People were like, "Oh, this is like based on an indie game." I was like
I know
really?"
it was based on a
Um,
device for Polo survivors. I know that. I think right.
yeah, well, yes, the Iron Lung, yeah.
I mean that's what I know it
uh,
from. But
yeah, yeah, this game came out in 2022, and I mean, it's it's got to be doing quite well these
so
days.
they had in
So
December it had an average player base of 23.4. Here, I'll put this on screen.
okay,
23.4, and then when it started to get marketing, it saw a 16%, 71% gain. And then when the movie came out, the last 30 days, it's seen 155% gain. So it has been like not in the
nice.
quad digits or anything, but still good.
Yeah, yeah, it's a cool story. I think. And, good for him. I'm curious to see what comes next if he's like, it's time to make Iron Lung 2, baby. But I don't know. We'll see. Um, speaking of things that started off as indie and small and then became very large IP, Greg, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is getting a TV series from A24, uh, produced by Glenn Powell. We don't know if he's going to be in it or not. They haven't announced. He typically acts more than anything, but he is producing it. There's a bit of a typo in this article because they capitalized the H in the, but that's incorrect. Um, A24 just bought the rights to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so I think they're doing a TV show, and then I guess it'll just be theirs moving forward. Interesting. I mean, Texas Chainsaw is one of those franchises where I love the original movie, but the franchise itself, like many horror series, before it and after it, went on to be just like bizarre drivel, and I hated the last one that came out a few years back. But I mean, the good news is that means it can't get any worse, I guess. I don't know. A24 is usually pretty selective about what they make, so I don't know. I don't
It,
know what a Texas Chainsaw TV show looks like. We're getting a Friday the 13th TV show now, a Texas Chainsaw
no,
TV
you
show.
focus on the you focus on the family and what made them the way they are. That's what it's about.
The
I
the
guarantee it.
fucked up cannibals. Oh, does it start off where they're all like normal people and we see them driven to like the
Yeah,
fringes
you
of
see the
society?
story of where they got to the 1970s film. Like the season ends with them like the set 70s movie like happening. That's the end of the season. Right before that
You know what this
happens.
sounds like? This is making me think of the vampire surf meme or the Dracula
I
surf meme
there's
where
something innate about audiences and just people wanting exposition to things, right? And but like the problem when you do that,
people
and I
want things
love
explained, yeah.
yeah, like lore or characters or situations that were never meant to be explained, and like it gets conversation going, it gets people talking, which is why some of these movies last a lifetime because they have these interesting conversations. And no matter what explanation you give the viewer, it's not going to be good enough. Case in point, Alien like debarked from that completely and got like super stupid and weird and like black goo and it was a weapon. No, it's life. Oh, we're an experiment. No, it was never meant to be explained. You never know. You're never supposed to know where the aliens came from. That was the whole point. And then like they just kind of threw it in the garbage and like explained everything and it was all terrible. Yeah, I think that's where it's going. And A24 has got to they got to slow down, Donovan. You said yourself like they're throwing a lot of balls, a lot of eggs in a lot of baskets, and not a lot of them are working out for them. They need to just like remember they used to be like selective and slow about their process.
We're making enough money. They were making enough money and they weren't doing it fast enough. So now we're calling in the big guns with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah, my thing is part of the reason why the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, 1974, Toby Hooper, I think, was because you don't know why they're doing this, right? You watch from the lens of like the young hippy dippy teenagers who are like being killed and like held hostage in this house. But that's a part of the like creep factors that it's like there's no rhyme or reason to it. They don't. There's no point where Leatherface or like the mom looks at the camera and goes like, "We've been starved and society won't let us go to the grocery." Like they just eat people. Like it doesn't. There's no rhyme or reason. It's just like evil.
Right.
And that's I think which makes it so scary. So obviously
Yeah.
you get a show, and like you said, people love backstory and lore and whatnot. It's probably gonna be like we're gonna see Leatherface when he was like a normal young little chubby kid, and then we're gonna see him get bullied at school, and then the last episode he's gonna like bite somebody's finger off, and then we're gonna see him like lick the blood off his fingers. He's gonna be like, that's tasty, and then it'll lead into
Well,
season
you
two.
hated
I don't know.
the last video
Oh,
rendition of this really bad. You thought
the
it was really
movie
terrible.
movie sucked.
I mean,
The
I just
2022 one.
we're still stuck. Like we're just stuck. Austin says this all the time. We're stuck in this like nostalgia loop where we keep using the old same properties over and over and over and over and over again. And I don't
Yeah,
know how
because
to
you
get.
people don't go see anything new. That's why.
No, I don't, and I'm
I blame
guilty of
all
it
of you
too.
folks.
I'm totally guilty of it. Like I will not even at home. I'm just rewatching old sitcoms that we watched when they were at their peak, and that's all I'm watching.
Yeah,
Uh,
they're giving the people what they want.
yeah, I mean that's
Um,
just what it is. Yeah. But
yeah,
then they
but
end up
here's the
being
thing.
terrible though, and then they're like, okay, well, let's do another reboot, and then they keep trying, and like eventually it'll work, right? And then they kind of just shrug, and I don't know. It's interesting.
It's
Uh,
cyclical.
I think a lot of these movies are just like right time, right place, like 1974. Arguably, like there hadn't been like a film kind of like this, and this film kind of also again we talk about like what do they call it in Doctor Who? They call them certain points in time you can't change. Uh,
Well, in the Spider-Verse movies, they call them canon events. They're like
Yeah,
things
so
that
like they're
happen in every
like in film,
timeline.
there's these canon events where like without you can't touch Chainsaw Massacre 1974 because without that you don't get Hellraiser, you don't get Chucky, you don't get all these 80s horrors that are arguably classics today from just that film,
Yeah.
right? But they keep trying to like recreate that, and I don't know if it's such a good idea anymore. I mean, at this point, I think just maybe to just you should just be re-releasing the original movie in theaters in 3,000 theaters. I think they'd make more money from that.
I'd love to go see that. Yeah, I
Right? Like I
think
think like why make a new movie? Just you're right, give the people what they want. Just re-release the old one in theaters. They do it with like certain movies. I think what's it called? Fathom does it, but it's like they're real it's really
Fathom does,
limited.
yeah.
It's not all over the place. It's like, it's very I mean, they did Back to the Future, I think, but and they do
They did.
Ghostbusters and like every now and every, like during anniversaries. They should just do that more often. Because they could make so much money. Just re-release a film in the 80s. You made $45 million opening weekend. Like
Yeah. I think the thought process of the people that own these IP is simply like, hey, this franchise, this movie, whatever it is, there was a point in time when this took the world by storm. It can do it again, right? Like if you own the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you're probably thinking to yourself, there was a point in time where this movie was like scaring everybody. This gave people nightmares. This made people afraid of the sound of like a chainsaw revving up. Even like to this day, people associate that with this movie. Like there's like a cultural hold that we can like grab once again, and take advantage of. Which look, A24 is also doing a Camp Crystal Lake Jason TV show. Haven't seen that. That's not out yet. Maybe if that was out and it was good, I'd have like different thoughts on this. But they're going all in on. I get translating horror to TV because I think some of it's actually worked. Like Netflix, Mike Flanagan has done it very well with like The Haunting of Hill House and Bly Manor and all that. That's like been good TV horror, but that's more like supernatural stuff.
yeah.
I don't know how you're gonna do a slasher as a serialized TV show because there aren't a lot of examples of that being very good. There was the Scream TV show that was essentially Pretty Little Liars, but with a serial killer. Um, I just don't know what like an 8 episode season of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre looks like, and I have a sneaking suspicion that there's not going to be a lot of chainsaw massacring in the show.
No, I would bet you tacos that it's going to explore the family's origins. It's going to explore the childhood of Scarface or how Grandpa became who he was. Like it's going to explore the family history. That's the only way to do it. Because otherwise, it's just like a teenage gore fest with every episode them dying. It doesn't work. That doesn't work either. And to your point,
No,
we become so desensitized, Donovan. I don't think the '74 movie would even like jaw drop people today. I think they'd be like, "Oh, that looks cool." Like you know what I mean? Like it was controversial when it was released because it was so violent. But our society's
yeah,
become so desensitized to violence that we're just like, awesome.
yeah. I mean, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out in a world before the Texas Chainsaw Massacre existed. It came out before Friday the
Mhm.
13th and A Nightmare on Elm Street, and then you really want to accelerate that conversation. Saw The
Mm.
2000s, Final Destination, all that was post Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So yeah, definitely. Also, just special effects, computer generated effects have all come miles and miles since the mid 1970s.
But
And
when
these,
it's made, I'll come on and I would bet you tacos. I bet you two tacos that's what it is.
yeah, I mean, like I said, it's the Dracula Surf meme where back in the day, if there was a show called Dracula Surf, every episode you'd see Dracula surfing. But now, if there's a show called Dracula Surf, the first season's going to be the backstory of Dracula and his childhood upbringing, and then in the last episode, he'll get a surfboard. Um,
What
that's
is
how they make
Dracula
TV these
surf? I've
days.
never. Is this it's a meme?
It's a meme. So somebody tweeted this a couple years ago, like what I just said verbatim. They just tweeted
Okay.
that. They're like, if there's, and people just blow up because it's so true. It's so accurate to how all these streaming shows
Yeah.
are, where they're just like these slow, plodding, exposition heavy. This is how this thing came to be. Whereas, we lost the energy of like the golden era of television where it was much more simple. It was just straight to the point. It was what you came, it's what you showed up for. Um, yeah. I want to read a couple messages here from Denny. He said TV gives folks more time to get invested in new characters that you care if they get chopped up. Yeah, that's true. They got a good chance with that because I mean, nobody can name a character from any of the fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies other than Sally Hardesty. She's like the OG final girl, but that's it, you know.
Grandpa.
Um, exactly, Grandpa. Yeah, or the random girl that survived the school shooting that was in the last one. Remember that? Uh, yeah, so that's a good point that maybe you do build up a cast of survivors and then it becomes a bit like maybe I actually care about them. Maybe you cast some popular young actors to get chopped up in this thing. Um, yeah, and then he writes about the yeah, getting enticing actors to get involved in the genre. Yeah, yeah. Could be interesting. I'm not writing it off. I don't think it's gonna be doomed, but you have to prove me something because Texas Chainsaw has not been
Yeah.
good
No.
for a
Yeah.
long
I'm good.
time.
I'm good. I think that we'll
Yeah.
see.
Also, where are they putting this TV show at? A24 doesn't have a television station or a streaming
You said it
service.
goes. It does limited release. Then it goes on digital on demand for money,
Limited
and then
release on
usually.
what? It's a TV show.
Oh, you're right. AMC Plus. The one thing that we don't have that all these shows are streaming AMC Plus, like add on AMC Plus add on. I'm like, oh my God, I miss when everything was in one place.
Yep. Again, you were part of the problem because you're one of the streaming preachers.
Oh,
This is the streaming
absolutely.
curse.
Oh no, I'm not denying that at all. Absolutely, I'm positively. But like one day, you'll move to a town where the theater sucks ass, and you don't want to drive 60
I won't.
miles to go see a
I won't
movie.
move to. I won't move to a theater where the town sucks ass because it's like I have to be where the culture is. I got to be like in the heart of the
Yeah.
city.
I was young too once. I was in LA. I used to live in the city. Yeah, I know how it is. I was hip and cool and young once in the city, going to the City Walk and watching movies at Universal and the ArcLight when it was
Oh,
a
such a
thing.
good theater. ArcLight's also a good theater. AMC City Walk at Universal Hollywood is
I thought
one of the best
I thought
theaters.
ArcLight was done. I thought they went
It
bankrupt.
is. It is. But I went before it closed. I've been to Darklight Hollywood.
I mean, I went to the
Um,
Animal Draft House recently, but I was not impressed.
Alamo is, it has its detractors.
Well, just because so I had to pay. I think I told this on the street before. I lived about 2 hours and 20 minutes away from San Francisco, so I had to go down to San Francisco where the Alamo Draft stuff was. So I had to pay for gas to get there, gas to get back. A toll to get into the city, $20 for parking. I
That has to do with the movie theater.
I had to drive. I had to buy tickets for the movie
House.
theater. I had to drive, so I drank a soda thinking it'd be cheaper. When we got the bill, a beer was $9, a Diet Coke was $8. It's like, okay. Right then.
$9 beer is about as good as you're gonna get at a.
I was like, oh my God. Well, I couldn't drink because I was driving. So, and then yeah. So, I mean, that's a lot of money to spend to see a movie I've seen a dozen times in the Alamo Draft
When
House.
you live 2.5 hours away from the theater.
Nothing I can do about it.
That's the Alamo Draft House's fault that you had to pay tolls to get into San Francisco.
They could open one in Santa Rosa. It's only an hour.
Yeah, and then you wouldn't go to it.
I'd probably go to the one closer if it was like an older movie I've seen a million times, like you said.
Yeah, when they put Gremlins back in the
Yeah,
theaters.
yeah. We put one of those '80s movie, those crazy '80s movies that we've seen a million times. Yeah, I joked to Nicole because I wanted to see that all this Withering died or whatever that romantic comic. Like, let's go see
Wuthering
that.
Heights.
Yeah, let's go see
Okay.
that. She's like,
He might like that. I think it looks terrible,
she was
but
like, really? I'm like, well, like, because she's the target audience. She's like, you want to see it? Like, I'll sit in the chair and won't say anything. I'll just be on my phone.
she might like it. Comes out Valentine's Day. I think the tagline for that was "Come Undone." So
And I
you
was
know,
like, oh
that's a
look, they
good.
spelled come wrong. Oh.
Oh God, jeez. Look, I mean, I don't know if the movie's that crass. Uh, speaking
No,
of,
she's currently hate watching Bridgerton again, so it's great.
oh, there you go. Yeah, that's just huge. I've never seen a single second of it, but it
It's
seems
it's for
massive.
there's a specific audience it's made for. That's the best way to describe it. It's a certain audience that it's targeting.
There you go. Uh, speaking of targeting certain audiences, Greg, I just keep getting emails from Paramount PR about this Scream 7 movie. I don't. They keep emailing me about it. I just realized I skipped our plugs. I'll do it after this topic since I already started. You know, once upon a time, 2023, I may have begged to go see Scream 6 early at a press screening. Maybe they let me do it. And now they just keep emailing me about Scream 7. They keep telling me all this stuff because the movie comes out in 2 weeks. So they released a new poster for it. It's got Sidney Prescott on it. It's a callback, Greg, to the original Scream poster, the one with the blue eyes, the grayscale poster, except this time it's Nev Campbell's face doing the same
Oh
pose.
damn, that's
They gave her
very
blue
like
eyes.
early 2000s. That's super. That's yeah.
Well, it's 90s is what it was, 96.
It looks great.
Um,
Yeah, wow, that looks great.
it's actually a good looking poster, I thought. Denny sent this one in Discord. They gave her blue eyes. Nev Campbell's eyes are brown, but they're doing an homage to the OG Scream poster. She's holding the Ghostface knife, which don't know what that's all about. And then a couple interesting things to note on this poster, right? Obviously, the tagline at the top, "Face your past." Yep. Been kind of like a running theme here of the Scream movies for a while now. Is like the past coming back to get you. Um,
Who's left? Donovan, just who's left to be the killer? They've done brother, they've done like estranged they did like brother, estranged brother, crazed
yeah,
fan. Who else have they done? They've done like who's left? Who is left
we've
to get
had
revenge on Nev Campbell? Who is left?
her estranged brother, like you said, or illegitimate brother. We've had her cousin. We've had um not like I mean, obviously her boyfriend, the original, was her boyfriend, her friend. Uh, not necessarily connected to her, but we've had it be the boyfriend of other protagonists when they brought in Melissa Barrera. Remember when she was in the last two movies and then they fired her because she said "Free Palestine" on Instagram? Anyway, they had her. Her boyfriend was the killer in one, and then it was her boyfriend's family in the sequel to that movie. So who's left? That's a great question, Greg, because now Sydney has a daughter, and her daughter's like a teenager, I'm assuming. She's like walking around. She's in like a young adult teenager, maybe like high school age in this one. So in the trailer, she's like trying to protect her daughter, and her daughter is named Tatum, which was the name of Rose McGowan's character in the original Scream movie. So a little homage there for you. I mean, you look at the bottom of this poster, look at the names: Nev Campbell, Matthew Lillard. Wait a minute, he was in the first one. He's coming back. Joel McHale, which they had Joel McHale playing her husband in this, which makes me want to like. Um,
I don't see
look,
McKenna Grace's name on the front poster. That's sad. She's pretty big in the horror community now.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're trying. Maybe she's the killer, and they're trying to like not play her up. You got to remember these movies are always shot. These movies are always very tricky in their marketing with who they do and don't spotlight. So
Oh, no, right. I think I was in a Ghostbusters group and they took pictures of McKenna Grace's outfit and they're like, she's the killer because the outfit always forward this or something like that. Like they were like comparing outfits to
I don't
past
know.
Scream movies.
People read super into it, so I think
Yeah.
there might be some misdirection. I don't think the cast in the poster is like a list of most important actors in it. You don't know. But yeah, I hate that Joel McHale's in this movie. Not
Who
I don't
is
think it's Joel
he?
McHale. He's Sydney's husband. So the reason I have an issue with that is because you see in Scream 3, which just turned 26 years old last week or this week. In Scream 3, Sydney has a bit of a romantic fling with Dr. Mark Kincaid. He's a detective. He's investigating the case in Los Angeles, and he's played by Patrick Dempsey, who you might recognize as Dr. McDreamy from Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, I
He's the
know
very
Patrick Dempsey
sexy.
is.
Yeah. He's like a love interest in Scream 3. And at the end of Scream 3, there's like they're kind of like dating. You know, it's not like solidified, but they're like dating, right? So then when we bring Sydney back in Scream 5, Greg, the 2022 modern one, there's we see her pushing like a baby stroller, and then they talk to her on the phone and she's like, "Yeah, Mark and the kids are like going to get somewhere safe," which is like, oh my gosh, she got married to Patrick Dempsey, like Mark Kincaid from Scream 3. It was such a fun moment, fun callback. Obviously, people hated Scream 3, but there were good parts about it. We love the continuity that they brought this character back off screen. They don't show him, but they're like, oh, she's married to Mark. And that was like a fun, cool thing for Sydney's character arc. And then when they go to make this movie, they announce, uh, sorry, we couldn't get Patrick Dempsey back because he was busy filming something else. So we're gonna get Joel McHale instead. And since we already said in the other movie that Sydney was married to a man named Mark, we're actually gonna say that she's married to some guy named like Mark Stewart, and it was actually Joel McHale's character, and we're gonna retcon it. So that's what they're doing. Joel McHale is her random ass fucking husband that she met in like Washington somewhere. I don't know. But you know, I'm a
I'm
Doctor McDreamy
witnessing. I'm
enjoyer.
witnessing. You're witnessing the slow turn of like them changing lore, and Donovan's like, I'm not happy about this. In in movie 3, this happened, and now in 7, this happened. It doesn't line up. Doesn't.
I know it's
I'm
like
watching
really.
it change in real time. I've been talking about it on the show for years. It's happening to you now. The slow morphine of Matthew Lillard being the ghost killer, and you're like, no, no.
So I don't think Matthew Lillard's going to be the Ghostface killer. I think he's going to be a deep fake. My theory is that this movie is a deep fake, secret twist or whatever. That's going to be the gimmick because
No, yeah,
it's
it's gonna be a
obviously
flashback, or she's gonna imagine talking to him or something like that. It's right. That's gonna be the.
Scream has always tried to like play with modern technology. Obviously, the original, the voice changer, and then Scream 3 had the voice changer that can mimic other people's voices. Scream 4, they were YouTubers and live streamers. They had like webcams, like Ring cameras recording the killings and stuff to like make a video about it. Scream 5 had a lot of modern technology. At this point, it was like iPhones and FaceTime and whatnot. We had like Find My Friends and whatnot in Scream 5. 7, I think it's going to be AI. I think it's going to be deepfake. I think that we're going to see like there'll be a killer and it'll look like Matthew Lillard, but it'll be a video and it'll be like somebody else using his image and voice, and then they'll like go around and do all the characters. I think is what's going to happen. It'll be a little commentary on artificial intelligence and deepfakes and stuff, which is could be interesting. I
Right,
don't
no,
know.
was it Scream 6 where they like technology played a big factor in the movie's plot, like the phones and stuff, like how we communicate. Right, was the one with Jenna Ortega, or was that 5?
5 and 6, they're as both Jenna Ortega. Yeah. Another actor who will not be returning for this one, but a couple characters from those Jenna Ortega Scream movies will be in this. Jasmine Savoy Brown and Mason Gooding, Cuba Gooding Jr.'s son. They played some side characters, main characters for asking me, core four and Screams 5 and 6, but they're going to be in this one in some capacity. We saw them in the trailer in a diner doing God knows what. So
I do
hopefully
hate
they're
where
not
the
just going
7
to
is
kill in
on
the
this.
opening.
Like, why not put it behind the E? Because that makes it very weird looking. Like the symmetry of the posters kind
It
of
is
off.
weird. It is very strange how it's framed. Also, the 30 in the bottom left, it's the 30th
30th
anniversary of the
anniversary.
release of Scream this year, December. This December, Scream will turn 30 years old, which is like exciting. I wish there was a different movie that they were using to celebrate it, because I think that if it's the anniversary, you should, maybe celebrate the whole franchise. But because of politics, they kind of banished the other main character of the Scream movies. But I'm interested to see what people think about this movie. It'll be interesting. It comes out soon, 2 weeks, and this one they're going full court press on the marketing. They're putting this thing. It'll be the first Scream movie in IMAX. They're doing fucking fan events every damn day. I keep in mind for you page. I'm getting emails about it. I had to beg to get Scream News when the last movie came out 3 years ago, and now they're sending me emails about it. So clearly, something has changed here. But
Wait,
yeah,
wait, the movie came out in 96. That means you were -2.
that's true.
I don't want to hear
Yeah.
any excuses about I wasn't born yet for any movie you haven't seen. -2 for Scream. -2. That means you couldn't have at least seen it and enjoyed it until you were what, 8 or 9 at the earliest.
That's about when I saw it for the first time. Yeah, probably like probably like 7. I didn't like it. It scared me the first time I saw it because I was a kid. My parents were watching it, and then I saw it, and I was like, I saw the mask, and it like freaked me out. But then, as I got older, it was in middle school. We watched them at a sleepover. It was when 4 came out, and it came to Netflix. This is when Netflix first started doing streaming. It was like 2011. We watched it at my friend's house for a sleepover, and it was so fun. So it was still scary. I was only like 13. I was scared, but it was like fun because it was friends, and we had like sodas and shit. And we were like playing video games, had Xbox and whatnot. And then after that, I like went back and watched them on my own, and then got to high school and took film class, and I learned about horror movies and the history of it, and learned about Wes Craven, and now I just love Scream so damn diddly much.
Dalvin likes the part where they stab people. Oh God, he's one of those kids.
This is, I'm sure that Ghostface this will be real. Look, I'm not one of those like weird serial killer school shooter type of kids. Okay, that wasn't me. I just
Sure.
I like the mystery. You know, I like whodunits. I like the
It's
murder
always the one you
mysteries.
least suspect. He seemed like a nice guy till he went on a rampage.
Hey, the tagline of Scream 5 was "It's always someone you know,"
He
which
just loved
to me was a much
Pokemon
better
so much I never
tagline.
suspected. He has bodies in his house everywhere, the floorboards.
Floorboards. This is fucking the Telltale Heart. No, I like the murder mystery. I like the whodunit aspect, trying to guess the killer. The plot twists are always fun. I love Sydney Prescott. She's one of my favorite all-time movie characters. Nev Campbell, you know, got to meet her a couple years ago. I love the character. And then I like horror. I like Wes Craven. I like the style.
That's true.
I like the commentary as well. I always love like movies and stuff that commentates on like culture or like a society around like a certain thing. And that's what Scream did. It was like, let's examine horror movies by making a horror movie that just like
Yeah,
deconstructs all the tropes and pokes fun at the stuff you expect, and like, is she gonna run outside or is she gonna run up the stairs? It's like, yep, she's gonna run up the stairs. And you know, it's like, oh, the girl with the big boobs is gonna die and all that. Like, I really appreciated all that about Scream, and I think they've done a good job with most of the movies. We'll see if this one comes out a couple weeks. We'll see if it can live up.
you have to come to the house in Santa Rosa. It's an hour away from me.
I will. That I will do
That's
before I
got to be a bucket list
perish.
item for you, right? Go to visit the house.
Yeah, I got to. God, they've only set half the movies there. No, it's just only 2. Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta see the kitchen. I gotta reenact all the scenes. I gotta do my Stu scream and be like, "Everybody's a fucking blah blah blah." You know, I gotta run in there and do all the lines. You hit me with the phone, dick. You know, it'll be good. And apparently, there's gonna be a Super Bowl trailer, which again, I don't think Scream's ever had a Super Bowl trailer. Those things are not cheap.
That's
Um,
crazy.
yeah,
Like how many? I forgot when is the Super Bowl again.
this Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah. That said, you can watch all the commercials and trailers online now because they just upload them before the Super Bowl these days. But yeah, that'll be just a fun and exciting experience. I'm so sure. I'm so sure of it. But I need to get to a plug because I forgot to mention it before talking about Scream. So follow the live stream, hit that notification bell. Um, Shacknews is all over the place on the internet. We have an official Discord, but we also are on all the social media platforms. We're on X.com at Shack News. We're on Instagram, Shack News Media, Facebook, search Shack News and you'll find us. And then, of course, in addition to Twitch, we're on YouTube under 1, 2, 3 YouTube channels. I believe they're Shack News Interviews, and then Shack News VODs.
Yep, that's
Would that
it.
be
You
correct?
nailed it. Better than I could have done.
Yeah. What's going on over there these days?
We just released a bunch of Noe 3 footage on
Neo, you
Neo
know.
Neo 3 on
Yeah.
it's spelled weird. It's the Japanese spelling of it than the American way. From TJ's
Yeah.
review of it went up on the site. Just not. I mean, that's. I guess it was. I guess I thought it was a bigger game than it was. Your Mario Tennis Fever preview went up on that site too as well.
Yeah.
You talked about you show off your tennis ball and you talked about playing Baby Waluigi #1. And then we have gameplay guides occasionally up on there. Lots of shorts, tons of shorts. That's where I live now in the short mill. And then I still have no new interviews on the Shackers interviews channels, but they're coming. Like I have a lot of interviews with a lot of people that I'm talking with right now, and I need to
Nice.
edit. So, and then I'm going to Toy Fair next week. Wait, with
Yeah, dude. You're gonna be so screwed.
No, I don't want it to be freezing. Like they change it every year because it used to be it was like March. Now it's February. The year before that it was I think spring. Like they keep changing the date. It's not consistent every year. So it kind of threw me off this year that it's literally the weekend of Valentine's Day, which is crazy. And I don't know how, and I don't have any winter clothes. I have one winter coat. One. So we'll see how I
Yeah.
do.
The snow is still going to be on the ground, but yeah, you'll be in Zoran Mamdani's New York. That'll be fun. It's going to be cold as hell, man. Buckle up. Get some hand warmers.
Oh, I don't
Your
mind. It's I
California
walk.
body
It's
is not
about it's
ready.
like a mile to the conventional, and I walk it. But just the wind kind of sucks. And then if it's dark out by the time I leave the convention, I take a cab back to the hotel.
Yeah, there you go. True New York experience. Well, that should be fun. I've seen a lot of stuff coming through for Toy Fair, so that should be a good trip, and you're definitely the guy for that one. Gonna jump into our final news story here, Greg, because Disney has named its next CEO. So remember, like a few years ago when Bob Iger left, and they made a big deal out of it, and then Bob Chapek took over, and then he ran the company for like a year, and they were like, "Holy fuck, we got to get rid of this guy." And the board like ousted him, and then Bob Iger just took back over for like another 2 years. Iger's ready to leave again. He really wants to retire. They're not letting him retire, but he really wants to retire. Um, and now the company has named Josh D'Amaro as the next CEO of the Walt Disney Company. You might wonder who Josh D'Amaro is. Greg, he's currently the head of Walt Disney theme parks. You, as somebody who is an avid theme park goer, how do you feel about him taking over and having full control over the company?
Interesting. Before I would talk about him, I'll go off on a tangent. Like, look how bad this ad is. Like, it's taking up a third of the screen. Like, and I can't get rid of it. Like, I don't use ad block because I want to support sites that when we read their news. But like, this is like awful. Like, look
CNN,
how much
baby.
screen real estate. You know what site doesn't have ads like this? Shacknews. You know who doesn't
That's
fill up
true.
a third of the bar of your browser that I can't dismiss or shrink or anything? Like, oh my god. That's really bad. That's terrible. Hold on, let me fix that. If
CNN, baby.
I can fix it.
Yeah, yeah.
There we go. Yeah, that's horrendous how much space I was taking. Interesting. The parks have had up and downs, right? There's been endless controversy about them not paying their park goers enough, which they don't because a lot of them are in the middle of Anaheim, which is like super hyper, like because of Disney is super hyper expensive and all the shopping in the way in the area that it's in. So like they don't pay their employees enough. They've had problems with like park attendance because people want it. The problem with theme parks specifically is like as a customer, you want it empty because you don't want to wait in lines. As a business owner, you want it full because that means that, you're making
People
money.
spending money. Yeah.
Yeah, so I know they've been struggling with that and they've been trying. We talked about this on the show too. They've been trying for decades, Donovan, to get people to do scheduled park visits. To plan out your vacation. Be like, here's how you do your vacation. You're gonna do Pirates at 11, then you do Buzz Lightyear at 1. So you don't have to wait in line, right? So you plan it and it kind of like is like a fast pass thing. So you book it, you book online and you would say, what's your itinerary? And it would say, here's what's available. So you would go on one ride and then go on another ride so you wouldn't have to wait in line. But people didn't just refuse. They just refuse to do that. They want to go on what they want to go on when they want to go on. And so like it never took off. We were just there and you have to bounce around. You have to look at the times and be like, okay, we're going. I don't know if you've been to the Orlando one. Have you ever been to the Anaheim one?
Disney, no. I've been to Universal in California, but not Disney.
So like we used a map tracker this last time we went with some friends for Oogie Boogie's thing, and we were going from like one end of the
Boogie
park,
Bash.
we were going to like Pirates, and then we would like go completely across the park to another ride, then completely across the park to another ride because we were like zigzagging because you have to look at the wait times and kind of get ahead of it. If you know how to do Disney the right way, because you can't just like go in a line all around because otherwise you won't see everything because the lines are all horrendous. It was very crowded when we went. Interesting that he came from like a marketing background with like his vacational services. I particularly don't like CEOs of giant companies because I feel like if they do a terrible job or a good job, they're rewarded either way. It's common in our industry to call them we call them golden parachutes. If like a CEO comes in, tanks the stock, does a terrible job, they never get fired, right? They always resign. They resign, they get like a $20 million pay package and like all this like stuff on their way out. So it's a little ridiculous on that level. I hope that
Yeah.
he is more relatable. I mean, I just want a CEO that's relatable. Really, I hope he doesn't seem like he's that relatable because he's.
I don't think you and the CEO of a top 10 company have anything in common, Greg,
Yeah, I mean, he
unfortunately.
did
You
climb in.
guys
I
haven't
was
really
reading
to each
his
other.
Wikipedia. He did climb, if this is true. He was in charge of Disney experiences during COVID, which is a really hard time. Succeeded by Bobby in March 2026. That's new.
I think I saw this guy on stage before when I went to Star Wars Celebration in 2019. I think he was there because I went to the only panel I was able to get into was the Disney Parks one, and they were talking about Galaxy's Edge. It was like right before it opened. I think he was there.
Yeah, he worked around like the resorts, vacation, a lot of marketing around there. The thing I'll say about this is just like he's definitely been in the corporate world his whole life. Uh, and I say this like with like uncertainty of like witnessing a lot of this firsthand. Is that like you don't really climb without being a shark, right? Like that's what the industry is like. Like you have to cut people off, you have to get people ahead, you have to throw the people under the bus. The dramas you see have a hint of truth to them about the corporate world and how it works. Um, I wonder who he threw under the bus to get here. So it's same with Bob Chapek and all those other ones. Like they throw people under the bus all the time to get where they are today. So I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Just because we don't get to talk about political stuff on the show, I think it's worth just noting that we're in a really weird time economically in America. I know. I was reading because I follow Disney News. International visits to the parks are like way down. Like people aren't coming here
Oh
from
yeah.
other countries to visit the parks. With inflation happening and tariffs happening and more taxes being proposed in this state specifically, like I wonder if people will be able to afford to go to Disneyland because like it's not cheap. Like it's cheap for Nicole. It's relatively cheap for Nicole and I because we're just two people. When you add kids in the mix, now that's like 3 more tickets. That's 3 more meals. You know, every time you sit down, like it gets really expensive when you start to taking your kids there. So we're total Disney adults, so it's only 2 of us. But even like a 3-day with hotel thing can be almost $5,000. You know, to go to the park for 3 days with hotel and food and transportation, right? Not even
Yeah.
airfare. That's not even including airfare. Can get really expensive really quickly. And I wonder because now this next generation is getting older, if their parents couldn't afford Disneyland, like where's the money going to come from? Or they can't just depend on people like Nicole and I to keep going till we're like 90. You know, they got to have a new generation to kind of come in. Uh, I don't know. It's interesting. I think it's fine. It's CEO news. I mean, like it's just a big announcement. He's been in the company for decades. I don't even know how much power they really have, honestly, because they have to eventually sign things and like sign off on things, but like they're just basically looking at pitches that a huge team is like put together to present to them. It's not like they're in their single room doing all this themselves, right? It's a big misconception. They look at things and they say yes or no, right? And then they're supposed to, Donovan. So I'm going on a tirade. They're supposed to take responsibility when something doesn't work right, but we all know how that works with CEOs. It's never their fault. It's the worker's fault. It's this person's fault. It's the executive VP's fault. They love throwing
They got
VPs
rid of
under
the
the
last guy
bus.
quickly. They got rid of Bob Chapek in like 10 months. He ran the company for a year and they were like, this is fucking terrible. And they got him out of there.
I
So
forget what he
he's
did
he
that
got
was
some
like
sort
so
of,
controversial. I can't remember.
um, yeah, I don't know. Wasn't anything really good. But,
But hey, like, look, if you want to
yeah.
give me the CEO of Disney and then kick me out in 30 days, I'll happily take my $20 million stocks and bonds pay package cut and just be done. Sorry, I did such a
Yeah.
bad job. Thanks for the stock options. Peace.
Yeah. It'll be interesting with Bob Iger getting the hell out of there at this point. I'm very curious to see how that company goes in the future.
He's
But
74. Like like that's like I just yeah.
Iger, yeah, I know it's
Yeah,
crazy.
why do these people not retire? I don't understand. Like don't think none I guess they just can't. It's just the work is just so
Well,
ingrained into them.
he tried a couple years ago.
I
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That is the one question, Greg, I don't have an answer for. Because if I had Bob Iger money, I would have stopped working 20 years ago, maybe more. But I don't know. Maybe he cares about legacy or whatever.
he's also a boomer. Like boomer. Like I mean, I do like boomers equivalent. Like you do the job every day. Like I'm the same way too. To do this job every day. Like it's part of your
Yeah, these
identity.
people
But
work
if I had
for
the option to
they
retire
work
at
for the
55,
job.
oh boy, am I taking it. I mean, I don't think I'll ever retire. If I'm being frank honest on the show, I think I'm gonna work like 70% of the world. I'm gonna work until I die, because that's just the system we've chose to accept. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see what he does. I don't know how to make Disney better. Disneyland Anaheim specifically, because you're out of room. They're trying to do different things with Star Wars Land to get people into it, but they have to like destroy things. That takes a long time. You need to do new because like the initial investment on these parks, Donovan, is hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars. Like think about how much it costs to like to concept, design, test, and build a ride. Like it's billions of dollars over the
Years and
course of like
years.
several years. It's insane. But
Mhm.
that's why I always say on the show, like the coolest technology in the world is theme park technology because they're concerned about engineering, immersion, and safety are the three things that they just focus on, and they want you to be as immersed as possible. Um, yeah, but the thing is,
Yeah.
it's also got to be affordable. That's why the Disney hotel failed. Like when I saw that, I'm like, that should be a seasonal hotel that's operational 2 or 3 months out of the year because they opened it. It was ridiculously expensive. After the influencer press event, nobody booked because it was just not affordable, and they shut it down. Like it was a huge.
God, I loved the Jenny Nicholson like 4 hour video deep dive talking about that thing was so fascinating. She was a content creator, Star Wars content creator who went there and she just did like a whole deep dive on like what it was like staying there and why it like failed and just it was such a fascinating thing. But that thing was doomed, man.
I think I
It's like
watched
in
that too.
theory,
Yeah, I think I watched that
you
deep dive
probably
too.
did.
It's a super. The concept's amazing, but like you can't. It's
Yeah.
the cost to run it is too high.
The
That's why
upkeep is
it should have
insane.
been seasonal to begin with. I don't know what they were thinking, keeping it open 12 months out of the year. Like you have to because these aren't robots; they're people, and you have to pay the people to cook the food, clean the place, do
Yeah.
play the acting parts, right? Run the grounds. Like that's all a cost that you're
And they gotta
paying
act around the
consistently.
clock. They gotta
Yeah,
act 24/7. Yeah, it's
yeah.
just
So I
insane
mean,
upkeep.
it's a cool concept. Needed to be seasonal. They do that a lot with Ren fairs sometimes. Like there's a D&D, I don't know if you heard of this, Donovan. There's like a D&D themed park you can like go to. I think it's in like might be in Ohio. It's in some place weird you wouldn't expect. But it's like a theme park where you walk around and like you go on adventures. It's like interactive play. So like you follow characters and stuff, but it's only operational like 6 weeks out of the year. Which makes sense.
But it's like you mentioned Ren Fair. I've been to a couple Ren fairs on here in Maryland. Yeah, it's the same deal where like they have it built over in this place in like the middle of nowhere, and it's in service from like September to November every year, and then the rest of the year just sits there like a ghost town. I guess they use it for like business meetings, but yeah, it's
my
weird.
my thought if Josh is listening, which I think they should bring back, is you open up Disneyland to the public, but you can only go on rides. You have to pay to go on rides, like specific rides. Like they used to do it in the 50s. They would have tiers of tickets. You know, you're probably too young to remember this, but you remember the phrase like "I have an e-ticket." Do you remember that phrase? Have you ever heard that phrase?
No,
Okay, so like there were tickets from like A to E, and like A would get you to like all the rides in Fantasyland, B would get you to all the rides in Fantasyland and Adventureland. Like it would kind of go up, and then E would means you can go on any of the rides. An E-ticket was the most expensive ticket you could buy, but you could just walk into the park and do that. And that would give people opportunity to buy merch that they're in there. And like I don't know how you would regulate that though, because I think there'd be a lot of riffraff if you left the park
yeah,
open.
I was gonna say the issue would just be foot traffic and people that are just going there to like fuck around would be the issue, because not to sound old, but like I mean, young people would just love that. If you're just looking to like get away from your parents and you and your friends can just go through a metal detector and run around Disney World for 3 hours and like be annoying, I'm sure the guest experience would probably go down significantly.
We'll
The
see.
quality of the guest experience would go down. I don't know. There's so many interesting options, right? Because Danny even gives an interesting one here where he says, "I wonder how much revenue they would lose if they just took half a year to rebuild with like the park closed." Right? Because you mentioned like them replacing rides and stuff. Where conceptually, I could see that where it's like, you know what? We'll just take the 6 months. We'll take $0 of income, but it'll be worth it in the long run because we're going to build all this stuff up. We'll do it faster because we don't have to run the park for 12 hours a day. The downside is shareholders would never let that happen. They just would not let that happen. They're not going to let you have $0 of income. And in fact, you'd be losing money because you got to spend and pay people to build. For 6 months, they would just be like, no way in hell. The stock would tank. Everybody would be running around with their hair on fire. It'd be a nightmare.
Well, no, you could. Oh, I'm sorry, Sadie. I know I made a noise. I'm sorry. She freaked out. No, it's no, but the way they do it now is they kind of do a rotation. So if something needs to be repaired, fixed, or updated, they just shut that down and they fix
Yeah.
that and keep everything else open. So they'd go on a rotation. You wouldn't want to shut everything down and then like or half the park down and do half the renovations. You just want to shut that one area down, do it, then move to the next one. Because park
Mhm.
people complain about oh, Space Mountain is closed. That's my favorite ride. My family drove here from Waukesha, Ohio. You know what I mean? Like, and it's closed. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff makes guests mad, and they don't want to make guests mad. So they try to let people know when maintenance is going to happen on the park and how long something will be down for, or when it's closed for renovations or refurbishment or repairs. They still have trouble with Rise of the Resistance, which is like one of the most technically advanced rides in the entire park that breaks down
That
almost
ride's
on a daily
crazy.
basis.
I rode it for the first time last year.
It's a great ride. It's the engineering in that ride is insane, absolutely
It is a
insane.
great ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah. I mean, it's like you are immersed. That is. I don't even like Star Wars. I think that ride is fantastic. Uh,
Hmm.
but like it's breaking down consistently. My brother just went on last Sunday and it was broken down that whole day. So like it has a lot of
Damn.
issues. But once you work those out, you start rolling it in. Um, I don't know how he solves the park issues. I think it's just people are finicky and like even if you look at the cost of a park, just getting into the park, it's relatively reasonable when you look at the total like what it takes to run that park per day or just a single ride, right? Like how much maintenance, energy, cost of cast to help you ride, like all that stuff like it's relatively reasonable. I think what because if it was $20 to get in, it would just be a cluster shit show like just a
Yeah.
complete another shit show. You'd be waiting 3 hours to get on the ride, not worth it. They do offer an express pass on it, and me and my wife joke about this. So for an extra $400, $300 a day, for an extra $300 a day per person, you can just go to the front of the line on any ride.
Yeah.
You could just go to the front. Who
Yeah.
says money can't buy convenience or happiness?
That's that was part of one of their different attempts at trying to solve the line waiting issue. It was like, if we give people an option to pay for more and then just have, you can just go wherever you want, will that alleviate some of the frustration that comes with waiting in line? And the answer is not really, because nobody wants to spend that much money on that. The value isn't there entirely. You got to find a way to meet somewhere in the middle. But it's interesting. They have whole departments of people whose jobs is just to like study the psychology of like waiting in lines and just like how it makes people feel. What's the best way to make it easier on people? You mentioned Rise of the Resistance. One of the biggest pieces of geniuses about Rise of the Resistance isn't even the ride itself, it's the queue, it's the line. The line is so smartly done to where you can never see that there's like 150 people standing in front of you in line. The way that they're angled, the way that the lines are structured, you only ever see like the 15 to 25 people in front of you. You're always about to turn around a corner. It always seems like you're going into a new room. There's always something new. It always feels like you're about to go on the ride, essentially. Even when you go to like the room where it's like you're in the Star Destroyer, like landing bay and all that, that's like a checkpoint in the waiting queue. But that's the spot everybody takes pictures. It's the big photo op, and it's all like a million times better than just having us wait in a mile long human line. People would be like fighting each other and like knocking over shit at that point. And that's all very intentionally. It's a psychological game so that it feels better. 2 hours doesn't feel as horrible when you kind of fragment it like that.
I feel like Universal was the first one to get that correct with like all their Harry Potter queues are just fantastic. Like they're
Harry
almost
Potter
like a
does
ride
it,
of
yeah.
themselves. Anaheim Disney is a little more rough. Like I mean, there's the Rise of the Resistance queue, the Star Tours queue, and that's about it. There's not a lot. Oh, the Mickey Runaway Railroad. You can see that like go on Mickey's Runaway Railroad and then go on to the Haunted Mansion queue or the Pirates queue. There's nothing to look at. You're just waiting in a line because they
Yeah.
can't do that stuff. But Universal, I feel, was the first time we went to Florida and did that ride. I was like, oh my god, this is incredible. Like they had it down. Like I just wanted to go through the line queue again. There's stuff to look at. There's stuff to do. It's cool to
Yeah. We
see.
saw it. We saw it at Epic Universe where every major ride had a cool line queue, right? The dark universe, like Monster Ride in the Haunted Mansion, where you're seeing all the fucking like artifacts from Frankenstein and the Invisible Man, and there's like lightning on the walls and stuff. The new Harry Potter ride, the Ministry of Magic one, where we were like, we stopped. We didn't even go get in the line. Like we stopped. We did the flu powder, and then we took the pictures at the,
Oh
the
yeah,
train station. That was like
yeah.
so cool. I was like, people are gonna like adhere and like not even jump right in line. Like people are gonna walk past them because it's just such a cool queue experience. So yeah, they're very tapped into that. It's such a fascinating part of like that business, I think. So I don't know, maybe he can bring that to all of Disney's other businesses. What does this guy think about AI? Can I learn that? Because we need to figure out what the fuck they're doing with Disney Plus and all the AI shit they're about to put on there.
Again, there's a lot of, like, I
Um,
mean, you said, there's a lot of like categories of Disney's a huge company. They have their fingers in a lot of cookie jars. There's a lot of umbrellas underneath the CEO, right? Like one of them that would be entertainment, right? He's in entertainment and film and animation. Like what do I think of? But he's not going to open his mouth. He's going to keep, we've seen what happens when CEOs open their mouth and say their opinions about things. Things tank.
that's true. Yeah, I mean, I sit in almost all of those voice calls with Asif when we watch earnings calls. We're gonna do it after this for Amazon, and I can't tell you how many times he said to us like, "Oh, he's talking down the stock," like the CEO saying something, and it's like his words are making the stock price do this like in real time because people don't like what he has to say about something, or maybe he sounds too pessimistic about something, or maybe he's not propping up the thing that people are excited about. So yeah, you're right. As a CEO, you kind of do just become like a glorified yes man, especially a company like Disney, which, as you mentioned, has a million people making decisions and calling shots. So we'll see. Good luck, Josh Diamaro. Um, if you're the guy I'm thinking of, you seemed cool when you were talking about Galaxy's Edge 7 years ago at Star Wars Celebration in Chicago.
I like that
So
park. Yeah, that park is done very well. But did you see they're redoing it too? They're doing a major renovation of that park.
I saw that they're reflavoring it to be like original trilogy characters and stuff, like imagery. So it's because right now it's like sequel stuff. It's like Rey and Kylo Ren
Oh,
and
it's
First
nothing but
Order.
the new movie. So like now, I
But
mean, so now they're splitting
we're
it the
not.
park into half, where half it's going to be that when half the old movies, half is going to be the new movies.
I saw that. Yeah, they're gonna go back to like
I'm
original
like, oh, so
trilogy.
just like
Yeah,
its fan base, right? Half of them like the new movies, half of them like the old.
literally. No, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
like
exactly what it
literally, like they're
is.
splitting it down the middle because yeah, they're. I guess like I mean they do take surveys and stuff. We've been asked before if we could like take a quick survey, like waiting in line for a fast
Oh,
pass.
yeah.
Yeah, they will
Hmm.
pull people from the park and be like, "What do you think of the park? Like, how are the lines today?" Like, they'll sit down with you for like 20 minutes and they give you 2 free fast passes afterwards. For those of you who don't know what
Oh,
that
that's
is,
cool.
you can go to the front of the line on any ride when they give you them. When Disney gives you those. So
That's cool. I mean, hey, look, they're trying. I don't doubt that the people that work at these parks are trying. Theme parks, and we've talked about it again, breed some of the most fascinating innovation in like technology, and but also just like psychological studies. Like the shit that they do to like fine tune the theme park experience is really fascinating. And I'm not even like you're the much bigger theme park guy than I am, and even I like I'm kind of wowed by it sometimes. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me that they're just constantly trying to figure out how do we fix this? How do we get people out of the sun for 4 hours to ride the roller coaster for two
oh,
minutes?
the Epic
Stuff like
Universe.
that.
Yeah, the trees are small. There's no shade. We're dying. There's sun everywhere. Oh God, why? We're actually going to
Dude,
Epic
I think
Universe in April. Nicole and I for our 20th anniversary.
I'm going in June.
Uh,
Damn it. I'm going for my
Drive down
brother's
there in April. We'll
birthday.
say hi.
That's a 16-hour drive. I'm going my brother um my brother turns 21 in June. And ever since I was in middle school, Orlando's been like our big family like vacation place we'd always go, like Disney, Universal.
Yeah, it's
So
closer.
we're going back. Yeah, we're going back. We're going to Universal for his birthday. He's turning 21. We wanted to like drink around the world at Epcot, but I was like, we have to go to Epic Universe. Like my family, like this. I went last year. The park opened. None of them have been. I'm like, you guys are gonna love this place. So we're gonna go in June. So we'll miss you. I'll have to like you can leave like a message for me, and I'll go like find it in the
It's
park
gonna
or
be
something.
crowded summer. We're going the week after. We're
Yeah.
going the right as the day after Easter because it's supposed to be low.
Yeah. Oh
We
gosh.
talk about psychology, right? We're looking at
Yeah.
dates and holidays and seeing the park. There's things you can look at park charts. So like, okay, that looks really low there because everyone goes during Easter, and then when Easter happens, everyone goes home. Hope that's the hope.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see.
Dude, Nicole's about to spend like $1 million in the fucking Harry Potter Paris area
We'll see. We'll
where
see.
it's
She's very particular
where
about
it's
what
all
she
the
buys. We'll see.
okay. Okay. I'm just thinking, I'm like, they got those the Gen 3 wands and all the French, the school, the Fleur Delacour
Oh, she's getting a new
scarves and
wand
whatnot.
because she's gonna see it light up, so she's gonna want a new wand. That's
Yeah.
how they get you.
Yeah. That'll be a fun one. I'm curious to see what you guys think. I'm excited to go back. That was so fun. Um, yeah, and hopefully Disney can have some sauce like that with whatever they do next.
They're making something
Um,
new there too. There, did you see that? No one knows what it is, but they
at
just
Universal.
yeah, Epic Universe. They cleared out a new thing. They're saying it's next to Harry Potter, to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. So I think it's an expansion of some kind because people are saying, oh, it's the link. It's a Zelda ride. I'm like, yeah, wishful thinking.
Well, so they just announced a couple weeks ago that Pokemon is getting a thing at Universal Japan first. But in that press release, I read it. They said it's going to come to Orlando after that.
Oh,
I
so
don't
it's
think that's what
probably that.
it could be. That maybe it's too soon, But that'd be connected to Nintendo though, right? Because like you Donkey Kong's at Nintendo, Mario, I'd assume Pokemon would be one of the like pipes in Nintendo. But when Pokemon comes to Orlando, I mean, I gotta be
I mean,
there. I
that's a
gotta.
logical. Like people saying, like Link or Pokemon would be the next logical ones. Pokemon, if they're doing one in Universal, it just takes a couple years for it to get somewhere else because they do some testing. They see what they like
Dude,
because Mario World did so well for Hollywood. Like they saw an uptick in
oh, it's
reservations and
huge,
park
yeah.
guests. Like it did very, very, very well. And then a couple years later, it came to Orlando and it did very, 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 very well. Would make
A
sense.
Pokemon Snap ride would probably like lift the stock of that company by like $10. Just like not like a fast coaster, but like a slow ride where you have the thing and it's just Pokemon like in the woods and the trees and they're like swinging down. You could that would like there would be lines out of like the portals into the parking lot in Orlando, Florida to get on something like that, I think.
And then as
I'm
you get off
excited to
the
see what they
ride,
do
you
with
get up,
Pokemon.
Professor, and go, "You were close." Give you like a shitty score.
Yeah. Think of it. You hire an actor to walk around with the lab coat like Professor Oak and just do like the hair and the glasses. It'd be so easy. Such a layup. The gift shop, I mean, is going to be like half the park for whatever they do with Pokemon. That is going to be insane. Go to any Nintendo store. Look at Asa's videos from Japan. There's 1,000 Pokemon plushies. 1,000. That's a real number because there's 1,000 Pokemon. They've said it's their mission to have a plushie for every Pokemon. It's gonna be nuts. That's gonna be crazy. I'll be
It's
the day
huge
one.
over there. I mean, like I'm trying to think what the
Huge
equivalent would be
everywhere.
over here, but like I can't.
Pokemon. It's Pokemon
Here,
just big
no, I mean, like
everywhere.
they
It's
don't have like. I mean, they have much more Pokemon in Japan than they do
I mean
here
we don't get like Pokemon cafes and stuff because we suck because
because
we're
we
America.
we suck.
It's true. We don't do fun
Like
stuff
no,
like
no, you're
that.
right. I'm agreeing with you. We do. Yeah, we do suck.
We have what's our like closest thing? We have the Star Wars Cantina in Los Angeles, and even that's like unbranded. It's like a knockoff
I feel
sort
like
of thing.
Japan's better, more unified in their interests than the U.S. is. Because like we have interests that are huge, sure, but like we're fragmented. In Japan, is like everyone likes Kirby, everyone likes Pokemon, everyone likes Final Fantasy games. Great.
Yeah,
Like I mean, like I
yeah,
don't walk around in L.A. like in a mall. Sadie, what did you do?
yeah. I
Oh
uh
God.
I don't know. It'll be
We don't
interesting.
walk around
I'm
in a mall
excited
in
to
LA
see.
and I don't see like a million, multiple stores carrying a single type of product, right? Like in Japan when I went with TJ, like I saw like a bunch of stores that just sell Pokemon things. But the Pokestop
Yeah,
store, like side stores, like it's just a thing over there. Like it's just much. I think it's a big property, but I think it's even bigger over there. I think that the demographic is huge over there because they did
yeah.
museums, they've done events, they've done so much
I mean,
more
they created Pokemon, so
over
yeah.
there. Yeah, yeah, that's their thing, which makes sense.
I
They
guess
have a giant
ours
Gundam
is
for God's
like
sakes. Like we don't have any of that stuff out here. Like it's just too
no, Greg. Our thing is guns and
huzzah.
weapons. Yep, there's that. Anyway, uh, we'll talk about more of that stuff. Whenever they open their next expansion, I want to go to it. But that's going to be a long time because theme park stuff takes forever to build, Greg. Which is why we're going to jump into our review segments. I've watched a couple of things. Two things that I'm both interested to tell you about. One that I think you'll find really fascinating. Um, but I'm curious if you've watched anything yourself.
Nothing. I've not watched nothing other than Fallout.
Okay, I'll start with Send Help, the new Sam Raimi movie. It's his first movie since he did that Doctor Strange movie, which is 2022, I think.
His first
Multiverse
R-rated
of
movie too in
Madness.
like a long time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Holy shit. I mean, that R rating gets used in this movie. Send Help. So it is Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien, and as the story goes, he inherits this company from his father. His father dies. Um, I'll tell you, Greg, because you'll appreciate it. You don't see his dad, but he has a mural of him in his office, and his dad's Bruce
It's
Campbell. There's
Spencer
a
Campbell,
painting.
yeah.
There's a painting in the background of his office. He's Bruce Campbell. But his dad dies. He inherits his dad's business, and um, Rachel McAdams is an employee, and she was supposed to get this promotion. He's like a dick boss, doesn't give it to her, but he does invite her to come to this like trip, this business trip. She gets made fun of in the office. He like kind of like dominates her. He's like, you smell bad. People don't like you here. You need to do this. He's just like, stereotypical like terrible boss. But then on this plane, they crash, and they're the only survivors, and they have to live together on this island until they can find help. And it's kind of like a blend of like Castaway, but if Castaway was like an R-rated thriller with two people, because obviously there's an interesting like commentary on power dynamics because they get to the island, as you can see in the trailer. She is very equipped for survival. She knows how to make a fire, how to hunt, and then he is like the rich, spoiled kid that doesn't have any like survival skills, so he has to like depend on her. Um, and then tensions rise and fall, and things just change and evolve during their time on this island. I won't get into spoilers, but it is such a fascinating like just examination of like human nature, and I think I'm always fascinated by stories that like examine survival instincts, right? Like I think that these last man standing, this isn't the post-apocalypse, it's just two people who got in the plane crash, but like these just scenarios where people are put into positions where they have to do things to survive, I think are so fascinating because, we always watch them and we're always like, well, I would never do that. I couldn't be that cruel to a human being. I couldn't treat somebody like that. But then it's like, hey, if it's you or them, things change very quickly, right? So I think the movie does such an interesting job at examining that. It's a Sam Raimi movie, so obviously it's fucking weird as hell. All the like close-up shots, it's so gross. There's so much blood and vomit in this movie. I watched it with a bunch of friends on Tuesday, and I mean, there were scenes in this movie where people were just like, "Oh, oh, oh," and turning away. Um, that guy loves his like nasty shit on camera. Sam Raimi movies are always just like a little bit mean. They have like that kind of cruel like edge to them, and that's definitely here. CGI is like silly bad. There's a scene with like a hog, and it's like that hog ain't there. But the effects are cool. If you like seeing blood get splattered onto people's faces and get in their mouths and stuff, I mean, holy hell,
Well,
there's
he's
just so
very
much of
Looney
that.
Tunes. He's a big fan of like Looney Tunes slapstick. Like
It
Sam
is
Raimi,
very
people
slapsticky,
don't
yeah.
realize. I don't think the average person realizes that. Like he loves Looney Tunes, and he's very. I'm interested to know if that like dynamic works in this movie because like in movies like The Evil Dead, like it works because these characters aren't. They're not. You're not rooting for the characters, right? They're just. It's funny to see them beat up zombies and undead people, but like it's happening to real people in
Right.
this one. It sounds like, right? Like it's happening to them each other. So I don't know if that lands the same as like beating up a monster or a ghoul or a skeleton.
Yeah. It's this movie gets very interesting with like protagonist versus antagonist. There are parts of this movie where you are definitely like, wait, who is supposed to be the good guy and who's supposed to be the bad? Like, it does an interesting thing there, I think, for sure. Axeman says he saw a Red Letter Media mention of this. Yeah, this just came out last weekend. Um, I thought it was a lot of fun. I think if you like Raimi's style, just visually and narratively, all that's here. It's one of those movies where you just watch it and you're like, oh, this is very clearly a Sam Raimi. He says, "Am I playing linebacker now? That beard." I have to say, one of the great things about being on camera and working on the internet, my beard looks so much fuller than it really is. Like I got a decent beard going, but the lighting in my like Logitech camera from 2020, it's like not really HD, so my beard just looks black. It looks like I just got like a fully filled in black beard. In reality, it's like you see here, it's like when let the light hit it, it's like I got like some spots where it could grow in a little more, and it's not all the way filled in. But if I do this, I just like a fucking tank. It's great. Um, so thank you. I appreciate the beard call out, Squires. But yes, Send Help is a really good time though. Uh, I think anyone who likes Raimi stuff, or if you just like survival movies, it's very funny as Raimi fans, Raimi movies are. But in just that like fucked up, cruel way, there are scenes in this movie that like we walk out there, we're like, all right, we got to talk about X, Y, Z. And it's also a movie where like you just can't tell where this thing's going. Sometimes you go in these movies and you're like, okay, well they're gonna do this and that, and then that'll happen. But this one, the whole time through, I was like, what is gonna happen in this fucking movie?
He's also notoriously
Yeah.
hard to work with. Uh,
Sam Raimi.
yeah, he's notoriously
Don't want
very,
to do
very,
that.
very difficult to work with. But I mean, a lot of actors have said that he's like a lot of the actors and people have said like he's difficult to work with, but it's worth it. Like that's basically the consensus among people who've worked with him directly. But him and Danny Elfman had a
Right.
huge blowout. like a huge blowout on Spider-Man 2. So,
They reunited in this movie.
mm.
Danny Elfman did the score for this.
Oh wow. See,
Yeah.
there you go. Comes back
So
around.
watching the opening credits, I was smiling because it was like Sam Raimi, but then it was all his collaborators because it's like score by Danny Elfman, obviously his brother Sam was
Ted.
well, no, it was Ted Raimi, yeah, produced it. It's a lot of his like people that he works with, and to speak to actors, I mean Rachel McAdams must like him because she was in Doctor Strange. She worked with him on the second Doctor Strange movie, and she came back to be a star in a movie for him. She's fucking phenomenal in this movie. The script asks her to be like so many different people. She's got to play like that like very neurotic, like flighty office worker who's like very insecure and can't like speak up for herself and stutters and stuff. Then she's also doing the survival thing and she's screaming, she's getting blood on her, she's running through the jungle, and she is doing so much in this movie. She's great, and I like Dylan O'Brien a lot as well. His character's a bit more one note. He's kind of just like the CEO's son, but he has his moments. He gets like a couple scenes to like be a character. Um, yeah, Axman says perfectionism. I think talking about Sam Raimi and probably what people deal with working with him. Maybe a lot of creative people can be like that, which is why one they're so great, but it's also why a lot of them hate themselves. There you go. Um, but it's good. God, Dragon Maid Hell was so good. Every time they put that title card up, I love that movie. Uh, yeah, good time with the cinema, and also a great January movie. I was listening to a podcast that I like about movies, and they were just saying this is like between this and 28 years later, one of the best Januaries in a while. 20th century, they just kind of they put this out here, but it was a good start to the year, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if it's been there's been I've seen it when I was traveling when I was staying in Vegas. I saw billboards everywhere, so they obviously marketed it.
Oh yeah, yeah. And Raimi, he's one of those guys now at this point where it's like he doesn't make a movie every year. He doesn't make a movie every 2 years. You might get like two Raimi movies directed at least in a decade. He produces a lot now, but it's just exciting. I talked about it whenever we talk about like the Scorsese's and Spielberg's. I feel the same way. That's how I feel about Sam Raimi when I'm watching this. I'm like, man, it's cool that we got like a new original Sam Raimi movie. It's not like a sequel to something. It's just like this weird new idea. It's always cool when our great filmmakers
I also feel like
are
Sam has had a
doing
really
stuff.
interesting career in terms of like what he's produced because him, Bruce, and a lot of his entourage that he uses in his films, like they've had to learn the hard lesson just about every single time they've made a movie right out of college because they were I don't know if you know the history of like the Evil Dead franchises, but like they made their first movie, they didn't have the rights to that. The second movie, they didn't have the rights to it. They tried to write the rights back. The third movie is another rights holder that they tried to get the rights back. Through all the confusion of contracts and stuff, Bruce Campbell lost his likeness rights for like 2 decades. 20 years of like people putting him Ash, specifically Ash, on T-shirts and posters, and he didn't get a cent, not 1 cent, because somewhere in Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness, his contract said that he foregoes his likeness rights. So they had to learn a lot. Like it's funny because like you look at those movies because I've studied Sam's career in college a little bit too. Like his career is super interesting out of Michigan, no less. Like not L.A., not Hollywood, Michigan. They
Yeah.
just wanted to make movies, and they were so desperate to make movies that they were signing anything in front of them because they wanted to make their movie. You know what I mean? And they learned a lot from that experience, and that really sucks that people took advantage of him like that when he was starting out because they just wanted to make their movie. You know what I mean? Like, and they were willing to sign anything. So interesting concept that he's making stuff that he wants now, especially like you said, original movie. And it is, I guess it's a horror movie, right? You classify this as horror, right? It's still in his
Yes,
wheelhouse.
definitely horror. Yeah, for sure. Uh, Greg, did you say that you were in New Vegas?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was in Las Vegas when they were. I saw it at billboards and
My
stuff advertising it.
I want you to know that my brother DM'd me one of our Instagram videos of you at the Avian Awards, and he was like, "What the fuck is this?" My 20-year-old brother, he just sent me this. He was like, "Bro, what is this?" With, like
I
a bunch
have
of
great
question
interviews
marks.
that I'm getting to that I actually won't have to set as 18 plus on the algorithm because man, does that just destroy exposure. It just drives it into the ground. You put 18 older plus I think both. I think the montage video and my wrap up video have like less than 100 views because in the shorts because it just that's who lives in shorts, folks. Teens. So
Youth. Well, also old people. I know some like 50 plus adults that can scroll on reels and shorts for
Well,
like
where
hours
are
at a
they? Because
time.
they're not scrolling on mine.
Different algorithms, you know. I guess it's all different stuff, you know.
I had to yell at my
I
nephew
will.
last weekend because I was in. I just
Uh
funny side story. I had to yell at him because like I don't come down very often, and I play Smash Brothers with him, and he enjoys that. He wants to go over to Grandma's house to play because his house is crowded. So like I'm
yeah.
playing with him, and I'm like, but I yelled at him like a dozen times. I'm like, hey, like, are you gonna? Because like he was switching. He only wants to do 1-on-1, so we were switching turns against me and then his younger brother, who's about 4.5 years younger, who's actually really good at the games too. So but every single time, so he's in front of me on the beanbag, and I'm behind him. And then the second the match was done, he would look down at his grandmother's phone, and then when it was his turn
Right.
again, he'd look up. And then like after like an hour of this, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna take that phone away, dude. Like watch you and your brother and I play so you can learn about the game. He just looks straight down. And you can see because his head would do this. The second
So you kick the kid's butt, and then you make him watch you kick his brother's butt.
Yeah, he's like I want him to be engaged in what's happening. Is the thing. I want him to be engaged. Like I'm down here spending time with you. Don't have your face go straight down the second your turn is over, and then up when your turn is up again. Like dude. It was very what's the word I'm looking for? It was very scary. Just like this younger generation. Like I think I'm bad with technology. I look at someone like my nephew, and I'm like, he's just glued to that phone. And then like I take the phone from him, and I'm going through his DMs, and they're just sharing reels. That's it. He's watching reels. But like the thing is, you do that at home on your couch by yourself. Don't do it when I'm here. When we're in a group
Say,
setting, engage. Watch us play. Do that stuff. Nope, head
yeah.
straight down, head straight down. Every single like clockwork, dude, just down. I could tell. You looking at your phone? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. When
It's
that when
2026,
that
Greg.
kid gets a phone, he's just gonna sit in the closet and scroll.
We all live on our phones, man. That's what. Oops,
Yeah.
I just exposed my blonde blazer lock screen. We all live on our phones.
Wait, has she replaced the girl from Baldur's Gate 3 as Bae?
Shadowheart.
Yeah.
I mean,
Who's Bae? Blonde Blazer? No, decide this now. Who's Bae? Blonde Blazer or Shadowheart?
oof, God, it's like, do you want chocolate or peanut butter? God, I don't know. Depends what kind of mood I'm in. It's like Shadowheart's more angsty and feisty, and she's more of a like wild card. She's a little meaner. She's a little colder, which I mean I kind of like. That's kind of fun. You know, she's cool. She's a little assertive. Blonde Blazer's more like warm and like powerful and like cool and like level-headed. She's stoic, She's like almost like Superwoman sort of vibe. I'll say because Dispatch is newer and I played it more recently. I'll say Blonde Blazer for now, but Shadow Hardaway has a special place in my heart as well. Of course, I can never say no to her. Which hey, maybe we'll see those characters in a movie or TV show one day. That'd be awesome. Um, Greg, you said you watched Fallout.
Yeah, hold on, wait. X-Men said if it did it in the arcade, so I'm gonna take. Yeah, man, they need something to do in between the things that they're doing. It's very interesting. I'm not gonna say it's weird because it's a cultural thing too, but it is interesting. I think where that's heading and how that's going to affect
Dude,
them in the
the thing
workplace. Like when
is,
you're not doing everything at work all the time. So are you gonna look at your phone? The 3 seconds you have
yeah,
between not doing so, I don't know.
yeah.
I'm worried. I'm worried about.
The thing is, Greg, it's not just kids, dude. It's
Yeah.
adults. It's everyone. It's everybody. You go anywhere, everybody's on their phones. Look at like stop at a red light and look to your left and your right, and you'll
Yeah.
see at least a couple people of driving age. They're adults. They're like everyone does it. I talk about going to the movies. Sometimes I see adults. They'll like open and like text message somebody in the movie theater. I'm like, are you like a doctor? Like, who are you talking to in the middle of a movie? What's so important? It's everybody. Obviously, kids are the worst of it because they grew up with the stuff, but adults are also just addicted to phones, man. It's
You
everywhere.
know the most awkward thing. Summer Games Fest last year, the year before last. I think it was last year when they showed off Alan Wake. No, 2 years ago. Summer Games Fest 2 years
That was
ago.
a few
We
years
had
ago.
Geoff came in and like he was on his
Geoff.
phone, and everyone in the theater had to wait until he was done with his text messages until they started the presentation. And he was like, "Yeah,
I
hang on,
mean,
yeah, hang on."
okay. In Jeff's
Okay,
defense,
go.
he's not like on reels. He runs Summer Game Fest. It's his event. He's probably coordinating
I
stuff. He has a
know,
team.
but I'm just like,
He has a
we
staff that works for him.
we were about to start, like, and then like he came in last minute, and like we couldn't start for 5 minutes. It's like, man, like, come on.
Look, Jeff got too much emotion, man.
I mean, he's either. I mean, he is on his phone all the. He's busy. He's a busy guy. I get it, but like he is on his phone, texting, emailing all the time. It's nuts. I guess, but I think people in his situation are on their phone, but he's not scrolling reels. He's actually like working, but still.
No, it wasn't like looking at memes on Facebook, but it's just yeah. I mean, it's a cultural thing. It's all of us, dude.
It was the Deadpool thing. Remember? Oh no, finish your tweet. Like it was exactly what. Have this fight,
yeah.
and like that's what it felt like. I was like, okay, sure.
That was a good bit.
Sorry.
No, you mentioned Fallout. You finished it?
Yes.
Tell us, what was the Amazon countdown? Prime Video, did they announce Fallout 3 remastered or New Vegas remastered, Greg?
No, I hate you. Why do you mock my passion? No, it was a 3D view of, it was a virtual tour of Mr. House's penthouse. That's all it was. But I'm not going to get mad at Bethesda for that, because that was everyone just like blowing expectations out of the water. Although I think it is pretty stupid not to release that at the start of the season. Like that's a perfect tie-in marketing. New Vegas Remastered, because they're working on it. They are, like, obviously, but like, why not announce
Not ready
it?
yet.
It's strange.
Well, you know why they didn't announce it, Greg? Because it's not done yet. And if they just tweeted a logo that said Fallout New Vegas Remastered, then you'd be like, stop announcing logos. Give me the game.
That's true.
It's not ready.
That's
They're
true.
like, I mean, obviously, I think if Bethesda could go back 3 years, they would have done all this differently. They would have had like more Fallout stuff ready to go. I don't think they were prepared for how big the show was.
No, they weren't, and you cannot rush stuff out when
no.
they're like you can. It's funny, you can produce a television show faster than you can a video game. So there's no way they're going to be able to like
produce
do
multiple
side
seasons
yeah.
of a television show before
Yeah.
you produce a game. Axeman talks about how like fighting game players will sit down at tournaments and then they'll pull out their phones to tweet they're about to play a rival or whatnot. Yeah, that's a big thing in esports. Social media is huge in esports now. I see it in FGC, but also like shooters, Valorant. Like a Valorant game will finish and like all 5 players on both teams will tweet at each other like GG, GG. I'm like, why don't you just fucking shake hands in real life like people do in sports games? Yeah, it's a whole thing. But was the show good? The finale of New Vegas, in your humble opinion?
Yeah, I think it was good. I think it leaves things more open ended than the first season. Right, the first season does it wraps up some arcs, but not all arcs. There wasn't as much wrapping in this season. Like it's almost like because they're filming the next season this year, so like they're continuing those stories.
Yes.
But I think the first season, like a lot of those arcs were solved. Like like Lucy found her dad. We found out what happened to Shady Sands. You know what I mean? We know what the girl's motivation is. We found all these, but like in this one, it kind of just ends, and there's a lot of open-ended questions that aren't answered. Right, so you're still chasing.
The difference between making a season of a show that you don't know if you're going to get greenlit for season 2,
right,
and making a season of a show when you've already been renewed for the next season, because Fallout has already been renewed for season 3. They renewed for season 3 after season 1 came out, so that different creative approaches, I'm sure. But
now being part of both of the worlds of video games and like TV shows, like I think it's pleased both fans. I will say on the latter half, the video game side of it is like they're looking into things way too intensely. Like you mentioned the Scream thing, like they're just like, which person's the courier? It's like no one fucking cares. Like stop pretending that the courier's like the courier probably doesn't even exist in this world. Like just relax, just enjoy it. No, but they gotta find out where the courier is. That guy's a synth. Relax. They're not introducing synths. Relax. Like relax. Yeah. Like just scale back here, guys. Like not everyone has 10,000 hours in New Vegas. Like there's gonna be. It's funny. I think that that community is like very like focused on like weird aspects of the game that don't fucking matter in the television show. So
fair.
And now if you see now, like there's even controversy about like, because the way the second season played out, people are like, well, now the canon in New Vegas isn't right. And it's like, dude, who it's not, it's based on the games. It's not a continuation of the games. You know what I mean? But because we have different characters from different perspectives, they think that all this stuff's canon. Todd Howard's actually chimed in the last week or two about it on social media and in interviews about like what is and isn't canon, and like, how it doesn't fucking matter. You know what I mean? Like just enjoy the show. Like it's an inspiration about that world. And I've said this before in the show too. Like it's not necessarily the characters or the quests that you remember in Fallout. It's the world. It's the world you experience, the post-apocalyptic genre, which is kind of rare. That doesn't involve zombies, like not just zombies or some disease. It's nuclear fallout. Um, it's interesting. I think they did a really good job. I liked it. I have to watch it again.
Okay.
I'm a little confused because I know since I watched play the games, I'm a big fan of the games. The Enclave was introduced at the very end of this as like a villain, but like to me, I thought the Enclave was the remnants of the U.S. government after the bombs fell. But in this world, they're playing them off as like a secret faction that existed before the bombs fell. So I'm a little confused about that, but maybe they'll explain that next season because obviously next season we're going to Colorado and we're going to explore the Enclave. We're going to be exposed to super mutants because I feel like they give you like one or two weird things to like be exposed to every season because there's a lot in this world that's very bombastic and very out there. And if you give it to people all at once, it looks ridiculous. So they have to slowly feed you new, this is a giant scorpion. This is a super mutant. This is a Securitron. Like they have to do it slowly, for just pacing and believability. To like you throw too much at someone at once, and it's going to be like that's ridiculously stupid. And honestly, the world of Fallout is really weird. If you look at some of the like patrons in oh god, is it Freeport or Free? Oh my god, I can't remember the name of the town.
I don't remember either. Yeah.
I think Freeside. Thank you. Like you look at all the patrons and they look ridiculous. Like they're like, what are they wearing? Like, it's just very weird. Like it doesn't, you know what I mean? Like most apocalyptic shows will have like tattered clothes with like a cloak and they'll be very dilapidated. But these people were wearing like 1920s hats and then like they were wearing like these big flamboyant things. You're like, what? Like not just the Vegas cheer, but like weird things, like stuff like that. Fans love it. My wife was like, why are they dressed like that? I was like, because that's what they do in the game.
Yeah, it's the answer pretty much. That's all there is to it.
Pacing's good. I mean, like again, like it's it took them a long time to get to Vegas, and the death claws were there, which were kind of an obstacle they had to like traverse. I really liked how they treated the NCR power armor in this looks phenomenal. Like that's an original thing they made for the show that never existed in any games until the show because they put it in '76 for $30. Which is brilliant, but it's one of the best designs. I love the design of the power armor. I love the way that the writing is treating the new California Republic as like the good guys, because arguably there are no good guys in this world in a lot of situations. Like there's people with good motivations, right? But they all want to kill each other. But they're clearly painting the NCR as the good people in this world. They're the people you want to root for. Are the NCR. They're the closest they have to democracy. They're the closest they have to like returning to the old ways of like stability and culture and stuff like that. And they've never really explored that in the games because Todd Howard has said in multiple interviews that they didn't want like an organized wasteland. They want it to be chaos. So they don't want, human beings reclaiming the world and like having it going back to normal because that's boring, right? You want chaos. You want all these factions fighting. But you saw it in Shady Sands. That was like our first glimpse of like in Fallout for a long time that we've seen because you see Shady Sands in this at its peak, it's normal. It looks like a normal town, like it would exist in the 50s or today. You don't see a lot of that in the games. It's a lot of chaos. I'm sure there are some exceptions. Someone will point out to me, but it's a lot of chaos.
Yeah, I love the show. It was great. I'll echo something that Axeman said was the first couple episodes were a little slow, but I think once it gets going, it's pretty damn good. Yeah.
I want them to win every award. Camille No Johnny was funny too. Oh, look, Little Abominations. He was really, he played, he's funny. I think he's got really good comedic timing, but he's also only got like kind of one mode, which is fine. I have one mode too. I'm not saying like, he's got his shtick. Like Owen Wilson or Arnold, right? He's but he was funny in that. He was in it for like a hot minute. Have you seen the whole thing yet, Donovan? Or
I haven't seen the finale. I watched the finale still.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you hadn't seen it yet. I thought we were like on it at 6. We were like, let's do this.
Dude, there's so many TV shows. Because Wonder Man, I've been watching Wonder Man, which has actually been good. I had to finish Percy Jackson. There's a lot going on. And then also I watched another movie, Greg. One that I think you'll find interesting. It's a documentary. It's called Predators. Not like the Arnold Schwarzenegger Predator movie.
Right.
Predators is unlike people that like prey on underage people, predators. And the documentary, Greg, is about the show To Catch a Predator, which You're an American citizen. I'm sure you've heard of it. You've probably watched it. And what this documentary does is essentially examines the show To Catch a Predator, which is hosted by Chris
Chris
Hansen,
Hansen.
very famously. I'm Chris Hansen. Why don't you take a seat? Um, and like the legacy of the show, but also like sort of like the dark underbelly of it, because they mentioned this in the documentary. To Catch a Predator only aired for like 2 years, like 2.5 years. New episodes came out. It was from like 2004 to like 2006 or something. But it's something you talk about a lot, Craig. Syndication and reruns. It feels like the show never really left the cultural conscious. And then now in the streaming era, we have like a lot of copycats. There are people that do stuff like this on TikTok, right? And to kind of explain in case anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, obviously To Catch a Predator was the Dateline NBC show where they would lure would be sexual predators, these adult,
Yeah.
typically men. Um, they would lure them into what they thought were meetings with like underage people who are home alone, right?
Yeah.
It'd be like, hey, I'm 13, my parents aren't home, and then the guy would be on the other end trying to essentially like solicit sex in sexual favors with these people. They would show up. Chris Hansen would walk out, be like, "Hey, what are you doing here? You were talking to a 12-year-old girl," and then it'd be this awkward interaction where the guy's like, "Oh, I'm not doing anything," and then the police would arrest him,
Yeah.
and it would rinse and repeat. And it made for phenomenal television. And the show gets into that where it's like, remember, it's like this was such a big show. Everyone loved watching it. I liked watching it. I even in like college, I'd pull up the YouTube clips and stuff, and I'd watch like the 8 minute interviews and stuff because it was so fascinating. And it kind of the documentary digs into like one why did we all like this so much? Why was it so appealing to us? And um, I'm not gonna go through all of their like conclusions, but I think a big part of it is the like it's not me, or it's like look at how like fucked up all these other people are. It feels good to watch people whose lives are terrible, but it's like also there's something so morbid about the show because it's like there's a very strange human aspect to it where like all of these or not all of them, but in a lot of these episodes like you're essentially watching somebody realize that their life is over in real time.
Yeah.
Like every episode. Like terrible people, yes. Do they deserve punishment? Yes. They also probably need some sort of like mental help. Uh, you know, probably a lot depending on which character, which episode. But like every episode, like you are essentially watching somebody realize that everything about their life is gone forever. Every relationship, job, school, friends, family, like it is all about to like go away. And you're like, you just watch people and they show like there's so much that was cut out of those episodes, and they show clips of like people just breaking down crying and having to be like consoled and like picked up off the ground because they're like I fucked up so bad. And then there's like cut clips where people are like begging, they're like I will do anything, just like don't air this, like please. And it's not to be like you should feel bad for the like sexual predators who tried to like have sex with minors, but it's like think of why this is entertaining. Like think about like why we like this. Why do you think this is like good TV? Because it is real people, and they do like these interviews with a lot of the actors. They found a lot of the like women and men who played the decoys because that's another part of the show is that these guys would show up to the houses and there'd be like an 18-year-old actress who was like dressed like a kid and looked young and it'd be like hey come inside like they go find a lot of those women now who are like obviously in their 30s, they're adults, they have families now, and they talk to them about working on the show. And hearing them talk about it was so fascinating. There's one anecdote that this woman shared. She was one of the actresses, and she was saying that she got into the show because her dad was like selling her grandmother's like beach house, and the realtors were like MTV or not MTV or whatever, like Dateline NBC was trying to rent the house, and the guy was like, "Oh, my daughter's an actress, and she looks really young for 18." And she was saying she was doing an episode where they were like on the beach, next to the house, and the guy shows up, and he sits down, and he's like. In reality, like her age, he's like 19 or 20. She's 18, pretending to be like 14. And they're sitting there talking, and she says that he's like she realizes that he's just like her. He's talking about like college and like trying to move out of his parents' house and like being stressed about like not knowing what job he wants to get into. And she says like I felt so bad like in that moment I so badly wanted to look at him and be like, dude, run, like get out of here, like go, like because she knows he's in a sting operation, he's about to go to jail for trying to solicit sex from a minor. And she was like, she knew it was too late, but like she so badly wanted to like yell out to him and be like, dude, like get out of here. Like you still have so much of your life that you could like fix and live out. But she couldn't, and they showed the episode. He goes to walk up, and they arrest him. They take him to jail. And it's just such a fascinating reflection of that. And then they get into like the modern era of like copycats, because now like the show's over, but now there's like YouTube shows. They find this one dude on YouTube who does like his own ripoff, where he just does it himself. They just him and his like friend. They just find people and they like record them in motel rooms. And it's like, is this fucked up? Is this like social justice? Are they doing this because they're trying to like clean the streets, or is it because it's entertaining and people just like watching it? You know, they interview Chris Hansen eventually in it, and it's interesting because it's not like a fluff interview. They're asking him, they're like, hey, like there are people out there that think you kind of have something to answer for, because like this show has created this like culture around like sexual predators and pedophilia is like spectacle and entertainment more so as something that needs to be like fixed and healed, and treated in society. And he doesn't really have like great satisfying answers for it. They talk about an episode of the show where a guy shot himself. There was an episode they were filming. They are interviewing one of the decoys, and he was like, "I could never relive this day." Where they go to this dude's house, and like they're outside talking to the cops, and then inside you just hear pop because he just shot
Yeah,
himself because he realized what was happening.
that was one of
Um,
the catalysts that stopped the show because he did that.
yeah,
There was a big fallout lawsuit from that. Yeah.
yeah, um, yeah. It's crazy, and watching it, it's very, I'll say, recommended watch because it's interesting. I think you, just as somebody who is fascinated by like documentaries and real life stories and production, you'll really dig it. I will say, um, obviously, by the nature of it, depending on what you can and can't tolerate, determine when you watch it. Also, very like kind of unsettling to watch. Like one, obviously, yeah, it's To Catch a Predator. It's an unsettling concept, but the documentary itself, I don't want to get into like spoilers, but like the guy who's making it kind of talks about his own life and stuff that he's dealt with, and like why he wanted to make this documentary. You can tell it was something he felt very passionate about for certain reasons. A lot of the like cut footage they showed that never made it to air is like unsettling to look at. Um, a lot of it is like existing not stock footage, but like footage from the show and whatnot, in interviews. It almost has like a found footage, like horror element to it, because it's not a TV episode. So the shots are longer, the takes are longer. They don't cut out like the awkward silences where it's just like a sexual predator staring at Chris Hansen in silence for like 30 seconds. It's there's a very creepy aspect to it, but a super fascinating documentary. I thought it was very eye opening. I had to reflect myself because, like I said, I enjoyed watching. I've seen all of To Catch a Predator. I think I've watched all the YouTube clips and episodes. There's a very interesting clip there where they had the mother of somebody who was like on the show, and she was like, "That was like the worst thing that's ever happened to our family," and like people are getting snacks to watch it. Was like her quote. It was like people like got snacks to like watch it on TV. And it's just like it really makes you think, man. It is. It's a heavy piece of like documentary filmmaking.
If
I thought
wait, where is it playing? I want to watch it. Where is it playing?
Paramount Plus, I think maybe. Yeah, because
Always.
yeah,
Always, like the two I
the
don't have,
Paramount
Paramount
Plus.
and Hulu. And I
Yeah,
have to give the Paramount people money, and I don't want to do that. Paramount is a cesspool right now. But no, yeah, no, it's interesting. No, you're right, but I think a part of that plays into like we never get to see in movies. You get that satisfaction ending where the villain goes to jail or gets killed, and the hero marries the girl, and everything lives happily ever after. And I feel in society we never get to see that. You know, we get a news post that so and so is in jail now, but we don't get to see. You know, sometimes you see the verdict, but it's very rare, right? We don't get to see the punishment of these criminals. You know what I mean? That do their thing, and
hmm
to because I've watched the whole series too, and to play on the other side of it, it's just like they have every opportunity not to stop talking, not to get in the car, not to get out of the car, not to go inside the building. They have all these opportunities to make a decision, and they keep making the wrong one.
yeah,
Uh, and so I don't feel any sympathy, honestly. But my empathy's been leaving me for I think decades. Something about I think our society just does that to you eventually. Because I used to be pretty empathetic, and I'm just kind of like,
right.
well, it's not me, and I kind of just move on. And I'm being just brutally honest. Like I'm moving on with my life. Like that's just what it is. Like that's. I mean, I think we pretend to be empathetic because culture and society says it's the right thing to do, but we're just tired of it. But no, I mean, I'll tell you something that's interesting. I had family member, not on my side, a family member that killed themselves because they'd found pedophilia on the computer, and the
Jesus
person was
Christ.
missing for months. They didn't know where he was, and then finally they found. This is like how terrible like the fucking police are. Like, oh, we found the car. It was just sitting on this park, and we found a body with a video camera and a confession like inside the reeds. And it's just like, so he was gone for 2 months and nobody saw it. Nobody found the car. Like, I just weird shit. Like police not doing their job or whatever. But yeah, he killed himself. He killed himself, and he recorded a confession. We don't know what the confession is. We probably never know what the confession is. But the rumor was that they found illicit pics of minors on his PC, and he ran, and he was gone for 2 months, and then they found a body with a tripod and a video camera set up. Like,
that's deeply fucked up.
These people make these decisions, man, and you know what I mean. Like, it's just these decisions, and I've recently been seeing like articles and stuff like this about like, well, it's who I am. I can't help who I am. It's just like, dude, like, it's not a valid argument. Like, you can't, you know what I mean? Like, these are children, you know, they don't know, and that's why it's illegal. They don't know what right from wrong. I don't care if some of them are more mature, like, that's the reason it's illegal. And coming from AVN, I can tell you, and like with all these files being released recently, like, this country, nay, the world, has a problem with pedophilia. Like, the whole fucking world has a problem with it. The longest lines in AVN were the ones that I was uncomfortable, like, being there. Like, I was like, they shouldn't be here. They're 18. Great. They're 18, 19. But I'm like, they look like they're 15. I'm like, that's really gross. That's fucking gross. They were popular.
Right.
And I interviewed one of them, and they're like, oh, right out of high school, I just hit it big. I'm like, yeah, because you look like you're fucking 14, because this fucking country has a problem with pedophilia. And it's just nasty. Sorry, it's nasty. I'm gonna totally watch this. This is great. I gotta find a way to watch this. If I have to subscribe to Paramount Plus and give that CEO my money, fine. But I want to watch. This is super interesting.
Just do a month subscription. You can cancel it, dude. It's like $8. It's not a big deal. You'll like it. And they also get into the police aspect of it a lot. That's another angle they get into, is like, obviously the police are there every episode, but it's like, there became a thing where the lines got blurred, where it was like the police were essentially working for NBC, you know, where like NBC was telling them like where to be, and like
they were working with the local police department, is what they say in their thing. They're working with.
Yeah, but they were finding like documents and interviews where it was more so Dateline NBC was telling the police what to do, being like, hey, come get this guy, or like ask him this, or, you know, influencing like interrogations and whatnot. They talk about one guy who like they caught and like went down, and then they threw his entire case out because like the way the interviews were done, right? Where it's like, if Chris Hansen is Chris Hansen's not a cop, right? So
No.
when he's the first person these guys talk to, he's the one who's like, hey, you're committing a crime. Anything you want to say for yourself? What should happen is, hey, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do can be used against you in a court of law. You know, read them the Mirandas. And then you get into your line of questioning. Chris Hansen doesn't do that because he's not a cop. And because of that, like, there were cases that were thrown out of people who were, like, explicitly trying to meet up with minors. But there was, you know, justice wasn't properly carried out. The Miranda rights were never read, so the, like, cases were just voided. It's a fascinating examination of the whole thing.
And it's funny because, like, I know there were some of these, because they this isn't the first time they've done like behind the scenes stuff on this. They've done other things like in online format.
Sure,
like,
somebody's done
yeah,
something.
yeah, where like they talk about the guy. I think they mentioned one. This is just one case, but they talk one of the guys that was thrown out, and then 6 months later he was arrested because he was doing it again. Like, they don't stop. You don't understand. Like, they can't stop. Like, they cannot stop.
Right.
Psychologists said that too. Like, pedophiles on that level of skill, they can't help themselves. They cannot stop. It's a drug, and they cannot stop. They can't stop trying to get it. Yeah, I mean, this looks super interesting. I'm really interested in it. You should look at some of the they did other, I don't know what they were called, but they did behind the episodes or something like that, where Chris Hansen talks about specific cases and what happened afterwards. And that was one of the cases, was that it was thrown out because of legality bullshit. And then like he was caught doing it again 6 months later by a separate unit in a different state. So like, and now what's interesting here is like, there's like Roblox is just like a haven for pedophiles. Like, it's just a haven. Like, people have gone missing. Multiple kids have gone missing and been getting friends on Roblox. And I tell my friends this who have kids, I'm like, make sure they're on their own server. Make sure they're on a private server with just their friends. Go in the server. Like, make sure that it's just their friends. You know what I mean? Like, ask your kids if you know, like, have you met this person in real life? Do you know, are you friends? Oh, you've met them. Okay, they're a neighbor. Okay, cool. I want to meet them. Like, you have to be involved because it's getting so bad. And I'm not saying that parents are at fault, but like, good God, like, everyone's working nonstop now. They don't have time to do that anymore with their children. Like, and it's getting dangerous. Roblox is like, it's such a cesspool right now. That whole place is bad. And I think they sued someone who was doing something like, we reported on the site, didn't we? Like, the Roblox had sent a cease and desist to someone who was like doing something like Catch Your Predator in Roblox and reporting to the police. And they said, oh, we have our own way of like doing this stuff. and like they just basically told him to get out of the rope, and they have their own process or whatever. There
Maybe.
was a kid that
Well,
went
the
missing 2 weeks
issue,
ago. Yeah.
well, the issue is that it's vigilantism is the gray area. That's the thing where it's like it may be a morally good thing. That's where's the line drawn legally what you can be allowed to do, because citizens arresting and apprehending other citizens has always been a weird, murky gray area in our law system.
You can citizens
Um,
arrest somebody. I think you can, and then you have to call the police. But the citizens arrest is a thing. But I mean, our
yeah.
society is so fucked up, Donovan. I mean, there's a comedian I watch that does like YouTube weird different types of humor, and he like set up a fake hotline for people to call ICE to report immigrants, and like the people that he probably gets the worst of the worst, to be fair, but he breaks them down. Like this woman just didn't like the minorities in her area, so she just wants to deport them. Like we are living in a really weird time.
Americans are racist. What? Where the hell did that come from? Um,
I feel
yeah.
like it's getting worse. I feel like everything's just getting, it's like a snowball rolling down the hill. It's just getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. But the fact that
All
this
right.
is
We don't need to do the doomsday thing. I get it.
right,
I think
the
you should
fact
watch
that this is a documentary and it exists, I think is a great warning to people. Like, don't fucking do this. You know what I mean? Like, this could be you. Don't do it.
Yeah, maybe it's more so about the show and the culture around the show, but yeah, it gets into that as well.
It's not a great area.
Frank Castle is not really, the Punisher. Yeah. But you should watch it and let me know what you think when you check it out.
I
It's
will. I will
like a
check it out.
like 90 minutes. I think you'll enjoy it. It's got some great interviews and insight in it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap there because we've got about 7 minutes until we get into earnings. I'm gonna be helping us do some earnings coverage, and I think at 5 Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, we'll be live on this channel again for Amazon's earnings call. So either check out shacknews.com or come back to the channel in about an hour for some of that coverage. But I'm gonna go grab a water and get ready to jump into all of that. So in the meantime, thank you.
Oh, next week's our last show too. Do you want to tell them?
Appreciate. Yeah. Next week is gonna be a bit of a finale for this iteration of Pop Goes the Culture. Be going dark for a while. We'll share more next week, but until then, I'm Donovan. That's Greg. But tune in next week. It should be Thursday. You'll be here Thursday, right? You're not gonna be in New York.
Actually,
Are you in New
check
York
right
next
now. I'm
Thursday?
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Let me check. I'm pretty sure I'm here. But now that I think about it, yeah, I don't leave till Friday.
Okay, yeah. Tune in next Thursday for a important episode of Pop Goes the Culture. We'll share more details with you then. But until then, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.